Look at this American badass right here, son. That is an American badass. Look at the Pacific, how rough it is. He don't give a shit, son. He's like coming down in there. I got it, Captain. Watch, he's gonna skim it right across the coming down in there. I got to load that belly full of water. That right there is an American badass, son. Wow, baby. Look at the concentration. Look at the focus, son. He's got a belly full, Captain, and he's fixed back up, baby. Holy smoke, son. That is an American badass. And here comes another one. Balls of steel, son. Balls of steel. Look at him. He's like, I don't give a shit. We got a fire to put out. Whoa, son. Thousands of gallons of water. And he just lifts off and flies off into the damn sunset. And here comes another one. Holy shit, baby. Look at him, son. That is some badasses, baby.
Yeah. Wow. 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 Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Fire Program. I'm your host, Joe Neerman, a.k.a. Good Logic. I got a couple of clips I got to share with you. A couple of clips which just caught my attention. Not really things I can actually have much to talk about other than the fact that, wow, that's kind of funky or amusing or wow. Can't believe he actually said that. I should be able to understand. I should have expected that, I guess. But wow, the gaslighting, the lack of self-awareness is just mind-blowing. So I got a couple of those I want to share with you. That'll take like 5-10 minutes or so. Then I want to talk to you about some infighting in Jersey MAGA. And these are folks who have a lot of fans amongst Jersey MAGA. I assume that, both of these individuals would very much, appreciate my support. And there's some blood. There's some blood going down, and I don't even know which side of the coin to fall on. I don't know which side of the coin to fall on at all. But we're gonna assess that, and then finally a little bit of a humanities type of issue I got going on here. I found myself embroiled in the other side of Twitter. I don't know. I was walking along calmly. I thought I was on the safe side of Twitter. Didn't realize that I had ambled onto the wrong side of Twitter, and I expressed my opinion about a particular incident at the Packer-Eagles game, which went viral. And apparently my opinion was like out of left field compared to, I don't know, the 90 people who came after me, ratioing me and yelling at me that I was the biggest slime ball ever. And I really want to get your take on it. I'm wondering, was I just on the wrong side of the tracks? Was it just that? Was I just on the wrong side of the tracks? Or was I wrong? It's possible I was wrong. I don't know. I think that some of you are going to disagree with me. I'm pretty sure a whole bunch of you are going to disagree with me. That's okay. We'll sort through that. Anyway, so that's our show that's what I got going on tonight. That's what I got going on. So before we get into that, let me just share with you a couple of thoughts here. First of all, those of you who are in California and upset about the current crisis there with all the fires and stuff like that. You just lost, let's say, I don't know, $5 million, $10 million home. You might be distraught. You might be in despair. You might have concerns about whether your insurance is going to cover any of it. Don't worry. Joe Biden is here to the rescue. He's here to the rescue. He's going to solve all your problems right now. Government's coming in and spending big time on you.
And I want to be clear. We're not waiting until those fires are over to start helping the victims.
He's going to help them now. He's going to just those folks who lost millions of dollar homes, they're getting help now.
We're getting them help right now, as you all know. People impacted by these fires are going to receive one-time payment of $770. One-time payment.
There you go.
You can quickly purchase things like water, baby formula, and prescriptions. So far, nearly 6,000 survivors have registered to do just that.
One-time payment of $770. So you just lost, a $6 million home Fret not. Fret not. Fret not. The government teat is here for you to suck on. I don't know what this is doing. What is this doing? Fret not. Oh my God. Yeah, he's here for you.
And $5.1 million has gone out.
All right, they sent out $5.1 million. So, what's with Rumble? What Rumble's working? I see people talking in Rumble, right? Rumble's working, right? So let me just make sure Rumble's running. Is Rumble up and going? It's going. Yeah, we're good. All right. Phew. I got a little scared. I was like, everything should be going fine there. All right. Next up, if you're upset about the whole thing here, don't worry. Don't worry. The LA Times, those of you who more California crisis people, LA Times has words that can help console your heart.
First of all, we'll accept some blame, right?
This is the owner of the LA Times. The owner of the LA Times. What's his name? Patrick Soon? Dr. Patrick Soon-Shiong. Dr. Patrick Soon-Shiong says it was a mistake for his paper to endorse Karen Bass.
Right. So at the LA Times, we endorse Karen Bass. I think right now in front, that's a mistake, and we admit that. So I thought it was very important early on for me to come out, and I think we were one of the few to say competence matters. We got like maybe 20, 23 million views to show how that was really dear to the heart of most people, whether you're right or left. And it's an interesting thing is that maybe we should think about how we elect people.
And that competence matters.
Did they actually run a job? Did they actually make a payroll?
Can they make?
Do they understand what it is? And rather than having professional politicians whose only job is really to run for office, there's nothing. I'm not trying to be disparaging, but I think we're at the stage now of the nation and the world, and there's many things we'll talk about even in healthcare, that you really need people to understand how it affects a man in the street, how it affects the working type of person. And I think President Trump in this election has understood that, and he's become truly the Republican Party, as you said, has become the Democratic Party in terms of addressing the problems of the man in the street. So
this is a very interesting comment from him, that the Republican Party has become this is the LA Times saying that the Republican Party has, through Trump, has become the Democratic Party as far as understanding the problems of the man on the street.
Competence absolutely matters. And I'm glad that that's been taken up as almost a meme now, that competence matters.
So I thought that was really interesting. Wanted to share that with you because you don't really see that every day coming from the LA Times. You don't see that anywhere every day. Still staying with California. This came as something. This was something I didn't know until I saw this clip. So maybe you didn't.
The mayor of Los Angeles, as you accurately reported, cut $17 million from the firefighter budget.
We all know that. So they cut $17 million. What you might not have realized is where some of the programs they chose not to cut that money from.
Even though her own hand-picked fire chief said, don't do that.
See, to me, that's not compelling because any chief of any department is going to say, don't cut my department. Anyone's going to say that. So that doesn't mean it's necessary. So that, I think, is actually a little bit of a red herring as far as making that claim, but where he's going here is the key point.
Too risky. The mayor did it anyway and had plenty of money to not cut, because $1.3 billion a year Los Angeles gives to the homeless to enable people to remain drug addicted and live in the street. Why would they kick it? Why would they try to get work or a home if the state's going to support their lifestyle of getting high?
1.3
billion a year.
You couldn't shave $17 million from that program?
and they're cutting.
If you shave 17 million, I got to tell you, it still would round up to 1.3 billion.
Firefighters? This is the kind of governance you want? Progressive leadership leads to destruction and death. That is the truth. And that is what we are seeing played out here right now.
Unbelievable. Mind-blowing. What in the hell? What in the heck? What is happening? This one I can save off on. Yeah, this one I'm bored with. I don't need to do that one. Let's get into there's one last one. I wonder if they're gonna pick up their drug habit too, right? I'm sure a bunch of them got a drug habit. That's dark. That's dark, Joey. That's dark. That's very, very dark. Oh man, very, very dark. All right, now I never want my competition to feel as if they don't get enough PR. So there are two dudes out there who are starting a new podcast that I want to make you aware of. Right here, these two fine gentlemen. They're starting a new podcast. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. So let's hear what they got going on.
Hi, I'm Jen Rubin.
There you go. There's one dude, Jen Rubin.
And I'm Norm Eisen.
And Norm Eisen. All right, Jen Rubin and Norm Eisen.
I am here to announce I am leaving the Washington Post in order to co-found with Norm an exciting new online platform, The Contrarian.
The Contrarian. Okay. She's very excited. These two have their finger on the pulse, and they're here to enter the fray. They're my competitors right now.
We are going to bring you written material, podcasts, interviews, social media, all in defense of democracy.
All in defense of democracy. That's what Jen Rubin, leaving the Washington Post, is coming here to not because she was let go or anything like that. No. She went off to form the Contrarian with plastic hair over here. To I don't know where he got that helmet from, but they're here to tell you about the Contrarian.
All right.
I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, by the way. Look, I know a lot of you might not be big fans of Jen Rubin. The reason I think that that I enjoy watching her in this clip is because literally she has the same haircut that my grandmother Ladishalm used to have. Like 50 years ago. This is the exact same hairstyle my grandmother had. It looked exactly like this, like all the time. A little drop longer, but not much. She used to dye it regularly too.
Intent
She used to dye it like this shade. Like it's almost black, but not quite.
is to combat the authoritarian force that we all face. To help us, we have
the authoritarian force that we all face. I assume she's talking about Gavin Newsom here. Not sure. A little too early to know. Little too early to know, but yeah.
Exciting array of contributors from all walks of life, all ages, all backgrounds to help us in this venture.
We're going to do politics. We're going to do law. But
we're going to do politics. Okay, we're going to do law.
We know that any successful pro-democracy movement also has to be very vocal about culture.
Oh, and these guys have their finger on the culture. These are two folks. Let me tell you. Hey, other high schoolers. We got our finger on the culture. All right.
We'll have a humor column. We'll even have a cooking column, but we're gonna sprinkle in a little bit of pro-democracy.
Oh, they're even gonna have a cooking. Wow, this is You're spreading yourselves a little thin here. You got the cooking, you got the democracy, you got the law, you got the culture, you got the podcast. I don't know where you're going here, Jen and Norm. I don't know what's happening. You need more direction.
The flavor.
What was that? Oh, here's a pun. This is what we got. I almost cut him off on this. I apologize for that.
Movement also has to be very vocal about culture. We'll have a humor column. We'll even have a cooking column, but we're going to sprinkle in a little bit of pro-democracy flavor.
Here comes the pro-democracy flavor. I really hope that they start every episode with, "Hello out there in television land." Hello out there in television land. I'm expecting to be following up on this podcast and to be sharing tidbits from it regularly. I saw this. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so good. This is going to be so much fun. So you probably don't even need to share it because I expect to be stealing a lot of their stuff.
And we're going to have pets. We're very pro pets.
Oh,
So
wow.
please.
Pets too. Wow. It's like, wow. All we need now is a little football, some roller derby, and they're gonna have everything here. This is amazing. It's really everything you need all in one.
Join us in this journey. We cannot do this without you.
No way they
We
can do
want your
without us.
contributions, your input, your ideas.
Thank you for joining the Contrarian.
I'm very excited. I am very excited for this. I have to follow the Contrarian. I have to know what's happening. I am going to be all over the Contrarian. So there you go. Jen Rubin equals definition of mesquite, body and mesquite. Measkite, which is like another. It's a Yiddish word for disgusting. Body and soul. When did PAT get podcast? Aren't these two who sold the NAM to USSR? I'm not sure. Your Bobby was named Oliver. No, but my Bobby, she really looks a lot like my mom. Now I'm thinking about getting you a picture. I'm thinking of pulling up a picture. You can see her. You can see I'm not making it up. Grandma called. She wants her hairstyle back. Yeah, she does. From 1980. Is it too soon to tell Trump? Is it too soon for Trump to tell Gavin Newsom you're fired? It's never too soon. I just don't think he has the authority, unfortunately. Here's her elbow on the pulse of the nation. Oh, my God. I love the huge smile from Norm. Look at the huge smile from that Punim. Oh, he's so excited. Oh, he's so excited. Oh, my gosh. Be sure to tune in at the beginning of the show and decrypt the secret message with your Lone Ranger decode. I'm going to be wearing my Captain Spaceman helmet. We're going to be good to go. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to hear all about Lost in Space. Things are going to happen. I'm back at my Jewish friend's home in high school. So, are you dating? Do you want some knishes? How's your mother? See, that wasn't my grandmother. She wasn't my grandmother. My grandmother was actually pretty awesome. She was pretty awesome. She was really actually very awesome. She's a very, very smart woman, but very relatable. Very relatable. And I never heard her gossip at all. Like I never heard her gossip once. So she was a very holy soul who got very angry if anyone said anything that was not just gossiping, but remotely untruthful. She was a very big stickler about truth and being open and not being misleading at all. Like it bothered her. It bothered her at all. She fell on a crack in front of my parents' house and broke her hip. And my father told her, you should sue me and collect the money from the insurance. And she would not have any piece of it. She's like, no, I'm not suing you. I'm not taking money from the insurance company. She's like, he's like, but that's why I have insurance. So you sue me and, and collect on the insurance. She was like, absolutely not. No way. Not doing it. So, which at the time I didn't understand, but now as I got older, I do understand it. I do. And as the lawyer in me is like, wow, that's kind of crazy. But that was her. That was my Bobby. She was awesome. All right. One last clip before we go. Before we get out onto the main topics of the day. This is the last clip. This is really the last one. This is Joe Biden gaslighting the world in ways which is like, how delusional are you? Like, listen to what he says about the border.
Look, let's get something in mind about the border. When I became president, the numbers came way down, number one.
When I became president, the numbers came way down. Wow. How can you even make that statement? They literally tripled overnight. Like, it's not even like it was, they just skyrocketed. Within the first month, it went up by like 50%. Within 3 months, it was at like 300% of what it was under Trump. Unbelievable.
Number two, we had a circumstance where I pushed very hard for a bipartisan agreement to put more people on the border, more Secret Service agents. And guess what? He's on the phone saying, don't do it. Don't.
Yeah, that was the disaster bill of all time.
Do it. Make me look bad.
I've killed that so many times. It's unbelievable that he has the audacity to still, a week left to his political life, and he has the audacity he's going out with the same ugly crap he came in with. Unbelievable. This guy, there's nothing lovable about old Joe Biden. Nothing. He's contemptible. Awful human being. All right. Going from that, getting into New Jersey MAGA. There's two people I need to introduce you to. There's actually three people I need to introduce you to, but we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about two of them. The first one is a gentleman by the name of Bill Spadilla. So if you search Grok, and you ask Grok, and you just put in the words Bill Spadilla, Grok has a long thing it'll spit out on him. And it's worth reviewing so you can appreciate just exactly who Bill Spadilla is. He's an American businessman, media personality, and political figure from New Jersey. Here's a detailed overview. I don't care his early life. I don't care about that stuff. Spadilla was the Republican nominee for the United States Congress in New Jersey's 12th congressional district in 2004. Been involved in various political activities, including serving as chairman of the College Republican National Committee from 93 and 95. Run for other offices, did not win, including a state legislator seat in 2012. He's known for his conservative views, which include advocating for smaller government. This is what his conservative views are. So let's because when you're asking Grok, you're like, is this person MAGA or not? So this is what he's known for: smaller government, fiscal conservatism, opposition to what he describes excessive regulations and taxes. Spadilla announced his candidacy for the 2025 New Jersey gubernatorial election in June of 2024. Positioning himself as a common-sense candidate focusing on issues like parental rights, supporting small businesses, and opposing sanctuary state policies. This is all very MAGA consistent. He hosts the Morning Drive show on New Jersey 101.5, where he has a significant platform to discuss local and state issues. His radio presence has made him one of the most listened to conservative voices in Jersey. He was also the host of Chasing News on Fox Television in New York and Philadelphia, a show that dealt with local news in a unique format. Vocal supporter of Donald Trump, has spread conspiracy theories about the 2020 election and vaccines, which means good. Okay. His criticism, and by the way, for all medicines, talk to your doctor, et cetera, his criticism of mask mandates during the COVID-19 pandemic and his skepticism toward vaccinations have drawn significant attention and controversy. accused of promoting far-right ideologues and associating with or defending individuals linked to white nationalist groups, which has led to criticism from various quarters. That means basically Alex Jones or whomever. So I assume. I don't really know much about him personally. I'm not going to kid you. He doesn't follow me on X. So yeah, I only recently started following him myself. Apart from media and politics, Padilla has a background in real estate, having worked as a corporate vice president for educational and career development for Whitecoat Realtors. And his outspoken nature, conservative stance, has made him a polarizing figure in New Jersey politics. His media presence gives him a considerable following, but his political ambitions have met with mixed success, reflecting the challenges of his approach in a predominantly blue state. Okay. Let's check out his little spiel here.
Hey guys, I'm Bill Spadia. I'll be with you at 10 o'clock this morning, Talking Jersey, taking your calls. As always, I want to hear from you. Question today is, are you digging in with me? Let's get started with John from Sayreville. John, what's on your mind?
Hey, Bill, I got to be honest. I've given up on this damn state.
I know, John. The Trenton politicians have literally wrecked everything.
I can't afford to live here anymore. The politicians have rigged the state against anyone who works hard and does the right thing. I know you've probably heard this before, but you're the only one who can help us.
You know, I've hosted my popular conservative talk show for the past 9 years. And when New Jerseyans call in to talk, I'm listening. And this is what I'm hearing. Taxes, spending, borrowing, inflation, all out of...
All this seems like your classic MAGA politician type of commercial, right? I mean, this just seems like we've seen this type of MAGA commercial before.
Control. Serious concern about the radical liberal nonsense our kids are taught in school. And while we struggle, Trenton politicians have opened the floodgates for illegals getting free handouts on your dime. But here's a newsflash. Republicans are never going to take back our state if we nominate a 35-year career politician who's already lost twice for governor.
And Chittarelli has lost twice. It's true. I don't really have that much of a problem with Chittarelli, but he has lost twice.
Politicians, they talk at you. Me, I listen. I've heard you loud and clear. So I'm in. I'm running for governor to fight for you. I'm ready, willing, and able to lead with strength, conviction, and courage to restore common sense to our great state. I'll make the tough budget cuts that scare the career politicians. We'll fix the way we fund schools so suburban parents pay less property taxes. Give kids an education at school, not an indoctrination. We'll stop Joe Biden from using our state as a dumping ground for his illegals and end the handouts they get from Phil Murphy and weak sellout Republicans. The insider establishment power brokers, no, they don't like me. Why? Because I'm an outsider they can't control. And because I'm unapologetically conservative, pro-life, pro-Second Amendment, and pro-Trump. If you're okay with more of the same, the other Republicans running for governor will give you exactly that. I'm running for the people who are sick and tired of expecting little from the politicians we elect and getting even less. On the radio, I give power to those who deserve.
So there's your classic
to have
MAGA
their voices heard. And that's
politicians,
exactly
right?
what I'll do.
And I don't mean
as
that
your
in any
governor.
negative way at all.
Now let's get to work.
I don't mean that in any kind of negative way at all. I could see campaigning for this guy. Okay, so no one should take that as any kind of slap from me. I will say this: when you go to his website, his campaign website, it looks scant. This needs to be fleshed out more and quickly, because primaries are coming up in like less than 5 months. So this needs to get fleshed out. Okay. Defend New Jersey from Jerseyans from illegal immigration. How? Like how? What? You sort of saying what he wants to do, make New Jersey affordable. The budget's balloon. You sort of have to tell from 35 billion to 55 billion. Time to cut the waste, lower taxes. You sort of need to be a little bit more specific. It's very nice. This is all messaging. Fix our crumbling infrastructure. begin to repair our crumbling infrastructure from our roads and bridges to our electrical grid, and our entire infrastructure system is in dire need of repair. We'll work with skilled men and women in the trades. It's sort of, this is not really, these are not policies. These are agendas. Demonstrating an agenda and a policy. Agenda is where we're looking to go. Policy is how we're going to get there. So I like his agendas. His agendas are all seem, rock solid. But, nothing here is telling me how he plans to get there. It's very nice you listen, but what are your ideas? That's what I would tell him if he was on the phone with me. I would say, Bill, this really needs to be fleshed out. So, but overall, I have no problem with him as a person or as a politician. And I could see that if his policies are strong, that, he's certainly looking to move with an agenda that I agree with. So I could see supporting this guy. But like I said, policies are still a little thin. Okay, so there you go. That's Bill Spadilla. Now I want to introduce you to a second person here. This is Mike Crispy, speaking in Wildwood at a Trump rally a few months ago. I think over the summer this was.
Hey, this is the biggest crowd in New Jersey political history.
This is Mike Crispy.
And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you saw the recent polls, but President Trump is about to take the lead in New Jersey.
Never happened, but I don't want the enthusiasm. That's okay.
It turns out that the great people of New Jersey don't like higher taxes, they don't like foreign wars, and they don't like a president who can't stay awake all day.
And to be fair, Jersey came in a lot closer than most experts expected. I was pulling for it to flip, but it didn't.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a historic opportunity, but the number one question that I get asked is, how do we prevent them from stealing this election? How are we going to prevent it? And I'm here to tell you, we are going to be too big to rig. Now, in my group, the America First Republicans of New Jersey, we have devised a grassroots volunteer organization to ensure that we overwhelm the fraud, and we ask every single one of you to become part of it. It is called Project 14. Now, all we're doing is following the instructions that the greatest president of our lifetime has laid out. Here's what we need to do. We need to overwhelm the fraud from every single angle. If they're going to ballot harvest, we're going to ballot harvest. If they're going to send the mail-ins, we're going to get the vote by mail. If they're going to vote by any type of way, vote early, we're going to vote early. And then on election day, we're going to have more people than they can even count. It's going to be amazing. So Project 14 is very simple. And you can all sign up at AmericaFirstRepublicansNJ.com to be involved, because we need all of you. This president has given us so much. He's fighting every day, these whack jobs in court. He's traveling the country on the weekends and campaigning when they're not holding him in a courtroom, Soviet style.
So there you go. There you get the general feel. Very, effective speaker, knows how to hold a rally, knows what he's doing. Seems like a smart guy. Obviously, leader of New Jersey, America First. And President Trump certainly seems to like him. This was Trump at the same rally.
And a man that made a hell of a speech today, I'll tell you, Mike Crispy. Where's Mike? Man, did he make a good speech. Thank you, Mike. I watched you from the plane flying overhead. I said, that guy's good. Good. And I know you have big plans for the future, and we're with you. Say hello to everybody, you're our mutual friends, okay? Thank you. Good man. And a man I've gotten to know, and I always said.
So there you go. There's Donald Trump giving his little blessing there to our own Mike Crispy. All right. Okay. So then we have that's the start of all this. Those are the two figures I want you to keep in mind: Bill Spadilla and Mike Crispy. Now, there's Mike Crispy recently.
Hey, everybody, Mike Crispy here. What if I told you that one New Jersey gubernatorial candidate had his fingerprints all over an attempt to sabotage President Donald J. Trump in the state of New Jersey this past election cycle? Well, that candidate is Bill Spadilla and his never Trump bosses, George Gilmore and Bill Stepien. Let's get into it. On May 11, 2024, President Trump endorsed Christine Serrano Glasner for U.S. Senate. 3 days later, the New Jersey Right to Life, a group that is very much in bed with Bill Spadilla, always has been, came out of nowhere and endorsed a candidate named Justin Murphy. Justin Murphy was running no real campaign, raised $10,000, and the New Jersey Right to Life, 3 days after Trump endorsed Glasner, came out for Murphy. Now, why did they do that, and why was it 3 days after the election? Well, it was designed to help Curtis Bashaw. Curtis Bashaw was Bill Spadia's candidate. He fundraised for him because George Gilmore told him to do it. George Gilmore is getting paid on that campaign. A guy named Mike Duhame, who has longtime ties to Chris Christie, was involved in that campaign. And Spadilla, in his prominent role, essentially controlling New Jersey Right to Life, was told by Gilmore, you are going to help us sink Christine Serrano Glasner and Trump in the Garden State by getting the group to come out in the 11th hour, again, 72 hours after President Trump endorsed Glasner, and endorse Murphy. Now, obviously, they weren't going to endorse Bashaw because Bashaw is an abortionist, whack job, leftist loser. But by endorsing Murphy, what they did is they took a sliver of the staunch pro-lifers and threw the vote to them away from Glasner. That was the cushion that Bashaw needed to run up the middle and win the election. It was 100% done in retaliatory fashion, okay, against President Trump's endorsement of Glasner. Remember, George Gilmore, who runs Spadia's campaign, was sabotaging our America First Too Big to Rig events in Ocean County in the weeks leading up to the election. And George Gilmore was fundraising for McGreevey in the days leading up to the election.
I will tell you, Curtis Bashaw, who lost the election to become Jersey senator, was not at all a good choice for MAGA. It was not. So in that sense, I agree with Crispy here that to the extent anyone was helping Bashaw get that nomination from the Republican Party, that was a poor move. It was a poor move. But but this attack on Spadilla is aggressive.
Bill Spadilla controls the New Jersey Right to Life. Okay, it's a sham organization that has ties to Chris Christie. It's not a real pro-life organization because they endorse Chris Christie, because Todd Christie, who's a criminal in his own right, who should be in jail right now, he gave $25,000 to the group. Then they turn around and endorse Christie the next day. Spady has always been tied in there. And
they endorsed Christie when? Like 20 years ago when he was running for governor? I mean, every Republican was endorsing Christie back then. That's not a fair comment.
Gilmore is in control of Spadilla. So Spadilla was carrying out the will of Gilmore by having them endorse Murphy. Now, Murphy was a guy who ran no.
So Spadilla was carrying out the will of Gilmore by having him endorse Murphy and splitting it from Glasner. It's very confused. He's covering a lot of ground here, which if you're unfamiliar with New Jersey politics, which I'll tell you something, I'm a lot more familiar with federal politics than I am with New Jersey politics. I'm learning it now. But, you know, yeah, it's the way he's walking through this whole story is almost assuming a certain level of knowledge with New Jersey politics. So I'm trying to help you keep caught up on this to the best of my abilities.
No real campaign, and people are saying, oh, the reason the New Jersey Right to Life came out so early for Bill Spadia is because Ed Durr isn't running a real campaign. He isn't raising money. You guys noticed the New Jersey Right to Life endorsed Bill Spadia without any due process in this thing.
So this organization, Jersey Right to Life, endorsed Spadia. And now basically they're saying he's alleging that Spadia has complete control over their organization. So when they're endorsing candidates in other races, that's because Spadia is pushing them to endorse those particular candidates. That's what he's saying, in case you're confused.
No vetting, no question here. But here's the thing. Ed Durr is a pro-life legislator. Ed Durr's
I'm going to catch up here. Let me finish up.
Introduced pro-life legislation. He deserved to have a shot at that endorsement. He deserved to interview and at least fill out the questionnaire for the endorsement. But they endorsed Spadia without a questionnaire. They didn't let Ed Durr compete for it. Then you're saying, well, he's not a viable candidate. But hold on a minute. Ed Durr and Justin Murphy, same kind of fundraising numbers. So how do you endorse Murphy on one side, but then on the other side, say you can't endorse Durr, and that's why you're coming out so early for Spadia? You know why? Because just like back then, the will of Chris Christie is being manifested. Spadia is the Christie candidate. And in the last election cycle with Glasner, Bashaw was the Christie candidate, and that's why they did the third-party spoiler. Bashaw is obviously an abortionist. They can't endorse him, but he endorsed the third-party spoiler to throw votes away from Glasner to give the race to Bashaw. Every single time the New Jersey Right to Life, a Spadia group, has acted in the interest of the Christie lobbyists. They did it with Christie himself. They did it in the Senate race. Now they're doing it in the gubernatorial race. I say justice for Ed Durr. He should have deserved a chance to compete for that endorsement. It is a scam. Guys, there's a lot of tricks going on behind the scenes and at every level. We're calling it out. Everyone says to me, oh, Mike, you're vote splitting, you're doing this. No, I am just calling out bullshit and protecting the MAGA base, whether you like it or not. The people who seek to take advantage of your rightful frustrations, those people who don't firmly believe what we believe in our heart, they have no place in our future party. Bill Spadia could have been a patriot. He could have took the mantle. He could have ran through as the grassroots leader in the world of no lines, but he chose to be a pussy. President Trump said it on January 6th to Mike Pence. You can go down in history as a patriot, or you can go down in history as a pussy. Bill Spadia, as you can tell by all this stuff, going down in history as the latter. A small man controlled by big special interests. Thank you for tuning in.
So obviously that's a very aggressive takedown of Bill Spadia. Very aggressive takedown. But we're going to hear a counter to that in just a moment. A long counter to that. Just saw a highlight reel from your manhandling of Destiny, or is it mensch handling? Either way, that dude is insufferable. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you. I will never forgive Biden for letting the illegals in, but just found out that the illegal who killed my uncle in 2022 was finally deported 12/27/24. Well, that's good, I guess. You know, glad he was finally deported a few weeks ago. I wish he would be rotting in a prison, hopefully a Mexican prison. But I'm sorry about your uncle. I went to a New Jersey GOP victory party with all these knuckleheads. I don't like Bill Spadia. Absolute grifter. Interesting. Okay. Republican Party in New Jersey is still out of touch. We need someone with a backbone. Yeah. Republican Party is a mess. It's a mess. A lot of things about New Jersey are a mess. So that you just heard from Mike Crispy doing a takedown on Bill Spadia. This is another New Jersey individual known as, goes on X as Defender of the Republic. And she is going to come out attacking Mike Crispy for his takedown of Spadia.
If you know me, you know I'm not a fan of Mondays because they feel like they're 3 days long. But I just got home from work, and rather than doing the things I need to do or relaxing, I'm sitting here responding to the ridiculousness that just needs to stop. Over the last several weeks, I've watched Mike Crispy have what seems to be like a public meltdown, and I'm growing concerned, and I will explain further in this video why. I've learned over the years to give people the benefit of the doubt. So when people tell me things about someone, I don't just take that as gospel. So I will say, before meeting Mike Crispy, I was told Mike Crispy loves—
more full disclosure. So Mike Crispy does follow me. Like, I've DM'd him a couple of times. I've never spoken to anyone involved here, like on the phone or anything beyond DMs on X. And I've also DM'd her about various Jersey politics issues as well. So I haven't DM'd Spadia at all, but I have DM'd both her and, in fact, I asked her if she spoke to Crispy about his statements. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. Let's first hear her position on Mike Crispy.
Him some Mike Crispy, and that was like was told Mike Crispy loves him some Mike Crispy, and that was like the resounding thing about him, which is evident actually after you meet him. Mike Crispy loves him some Mike Crispy, which is totally fine. You can be a lover of yourself. That is not the issue. The issue, though, is I've also watched him tell small lies over time that have continued to grow. And there are reasons behind all of these lies. And I've been a casual observer of what is happening and having discussions with a lot of people and fact checking everything he says. And it turns out that a lot of the things he's saying is a lie. And even in conversations with him, I think I've figured out what is going on. If you bear with me, you'll get the full scoop. So let's start with what's been posted on X. There has been a ton of lies posted on X by Mike Crispy, which is concerning because as a person that posts on X, I find it very dishonest to lie to your followers when you have another agenda. And this is something we know that the fake news media does, and we do not want to become them no matter what. We do not want to skew narratives for our own gain.
I agree with
that.
that.
So the first post that I remember, there's been a ton, but the first post that I remember, and I'll share the screenshots here, was, I believe it was Christmas. The post said, breaking, recent polling just released about the gubernatorial primary.
So what do we got here? You have Bramnick 3%, Chittarelli 44%, Ed Durr 2%, Bill Spadilla 11%. 38% undecided.
So I saw it. I was like, oh, let me look at this. And then I find this poll, and it's a poll from June. Okay, this poll is claiming that Jack Chittarelli has better numbers than Bill Spadilla. But when I found the poll, again, he posted this on December 25th. The poll is from June, literally before Spadilla even announced. So why would you post that as though it was a brand new poll when you're not trying to be dishonest? It is very dishonest to do that. So I called him out on it. People were mad at me for calling him out on it when it's, listen, I'm going to hold the left accountable. I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to hold myself accountable. That's what we're supposed to do.
Yep.
Mike has been posting nonstop about Spadilla, like almost obsessively. And again, I kind of know why from having discussions with him, but I've left it alone. I've kind of been a casual observer. I will, say, dude, chill out when he lies. And twice I had to say something yesterday because these were such blatant lies that it's like, come on, dude, what is going on? So yesterday he posted a video of Chris Christie, who was walking through what looked like Port Authority or something, and said, Chris Christie on his way to meet with Bill Spadilla. That wasn't true. That absolutely wasn't true. But for you to say it like that, your followers are going to believe it. A seemingly small lie, but then an hour later, he posts a picture of Bill Spadia from a year ago and says, Bill Spadia right now, as we speak. Why would you do that? I mean, it's just weird. And
That is, assuming what she's saying is true, that is strange. These are all very, very strange things. I mean, saying like, you know, here's Chris Christie going to meet Bill Spadia when he, and posting a picture of him from a year ago, saying, you know, with different people saying this is him right now.
that's when I started to get concerned, because I was like, okay, like these are weird lies. But the problem is when you have these little white lies, your character is just comes into question. What are you trying to do, and can you be trusted? So before I get into what happened today, let me tell you a little bit about Mike Crispy. So Mike Crispy ran for a congressional seat against Chris Smith. And he had supporters, and then he had people that did not support him that he's still mad about, because he plans, even though he lives in Weehawken, he's still planning on running for a congressional seat in Ocean County, because Ocean County is very red and he thinks he can win there. The problem is George Gilmore is basically the king of Ocean County. And the fact that George Gilmore basically said, sorry, Mike, I don't like you, I will never support you, he's really pissed. So now that George Gilmore is supporting Bill Spadia, despite the fact that Bill Spadia supported Crispy when he ran for Congress, because Bill Spadia won't denounce George Gilmore, Mike Crispy is on a revenge tour.
So basically what she's saying is, in this little finger pointing thing, that Crispy is really mad at Gilmore, and since now Gilmore is aligned with Spadia, so that's why Spadia is in, by association with Gilmore, is fallen into Mike Crispy's crosshairs, and she's alleging that Crispy can't be trusted because he just purportedly will just spread white lie after white lie.
The issue I have with this is, and let me give credit to Mike Crispy. Mike Crispy did a lot when it came to President Trump's candidacy, right? He tried in every way possible. He went all across the state trying to get signatures to make sure he was on the ballot. Wasn't really that necessary to do, but he made himself known. He made himself visible. And because of his relationship with Roger Stone, it wasn't a natural relationship that occurred. But anyway, because of his relationship with Roger Stone and the fact that Roger's like, oh, look, Mike Crispy did all this work for you guys in New Jersey, he was allowed to speak at the big Trump rally in Wildwood. And so he's now using that clout for his own personal gain, because remember, Mike Crispy loves him some Mike Crispy. But I have an issue with people using Trump's name to advance themselves. I also have an issue with what he's trying to do, where he's lying that Bill Spadia has this great relationship with Chris Christie, because he knows that that's going to get Trump's attention, and Trump's going to be like, wait, what? That is a complete lie. But the issue with Mike Crispy loving him some Mike Crispy is that Mike Crispy don't give a fuck about the state of New Jersey if it's going to hurt his chances of him getting into Congress. And that's where I step in, because I'm a mother, and a mother of 2 daughters that live in this state. And I will be damned to allow someone's ego to influence this state negatively because of one person. Elections are about the right person, the right candidate, especially when it's grassroots. And as hard as it is to get a grassroots candidate in, when we know there is a New Jersey mafia, and we know what the stronghold is that the Democrats have here, when we need to stand together to make change happen, and you've got one guy just shitting on everything for his own ego and personal gain, that's a problem. So now moving on to this issue with New Jersey right to life.
Okay. Are you with this whole thing so far? Now, to be fair, I don't know if she has some sort of, and I'm not accusing her of having that. This is Defend the Republic. I don't even know her. I don't know her first or last name, but and that's not really relevant. I don't know if she's got some personal issue with Mike. I don't know what the story is there. I have no idea. But she does bring some receipts, certainly with respect to the posts from Mike Crispy. And that cannot be ignored because those are weird things for him to be posting out. One of the things that, and in fact, I actually asked her if she approached Mike Crispy about this. And she said, we've spoken several times. I don't know what to do with that information. But that's what she tells me. We've spoken several times. Where was I think? Oh, that's not good.
Is that Mike Crispy don't give a
What is over here? All right, let's get into her talking about Right to Life. And Breck Nichols saying, sorry, Joe, I can't follow you anymore. Too busy watching Jen and what's his name, Norm. So much goodness, cooking and pets, maybe even cooking pets. So much. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Uzelian says, don't cut my budget. I need 100K to have our fire engines painted black on top. Yeah, and to paint the BLM sign on top. Surrounded by trans flags. Surrounded by trans flags. Let's get back to her. I want to finish this up.
ego and personal gain, that's a problem. So now moving on to this issue with New Jersey Right to Life. So when he posted this video, I will say I did not have the answers. I didn't know why. I didn't know what the hell was going on. So what did I do? I reached out to New Jersey Right to Life and I spoke to Marie, who's the executive director, and I asked, what is he talking about? And it just so happens that
now, if you recall, or in case you joined late, Mike Crispy alleges that Right to Life is not really a real organization, and they only supported and they just love Spadia, and they supported this one candidate, even though he only had $10,000 in campaign funds raised, and they refused to support Ed Durr, even though Ed Durr had the same, because he wasn't a viable candidate, even though he purportedly had the same amount of money raised for his election. So she's now going to give her version of spilling the tea about the whole Right to Life element to what Crispy was talking about.
That she wrote a response email to the article that was posted by Jersey Conservative and forwarded it to me. So I am going to read it to you guys because I don't know that they will honestly report her response. So I'm going to do it for them. So I'm going to read the email to you. I'm going to start after she introduces who she is and why she's writing the email, but it is from Marie from NJRTL, who's writing to Jersey Conservative, responding to the article entitled, Will New Jersey Republicans Reject MAGA Like They Did Reagan? It is a well-known fact that both Chitterelli and Bramnick are avowed abortion supporters. Both of their positions on the issue are well documented. Therefore, there was no reason to send a questionnaire to either of these candidates. Most notably, Jack Chitterelli affirmed his support for unlimited abortion during his debate with Murphy in 2021, when he said his administration would codify Roe v. Wade, resulting in his narrow election loss to Murphy. Your column mentions Ed Durr and questions why we did not receive our endorsement. He did not receive our endorsement or the candidate questionnaire. Without even attempting to find out the reason, you again jump to the wrong conclusions. The truth of the matter is that when Ed Durr ran for re-election to the New Jersey Senate in 2023, we sent him a candidate questionnaire. After following up several times with him, he told me he would not fill it out because his campaign staff told him not to. This was very disappointing to hear from a pro-life candidate. If a candidate running for state senate rebuffs us and refuses to fill out a questionnaire, Why would we send him a questionnaire when he runs for governor, let alone consider an endorsement? That makes sense. Then again, you misrepresented that Christy Serrano Glasner was a pro-life Republican candidate for the U.S. Senate and make the ridiculous assertion that NJRTL is to blame for pro-abortion Chris Bashaw winning the primary and embarrassing Trump because he endorsed Serrano Glasner. Again, your assumptions are wrong and highly irresponsible. If Serrano Glasner was pro-life and lost the primary, as you assert because NJRTL did not endorse her, the fault lies with Serrano Glasner because she never made her position known. She and Bashaw were both sent candidate questionnaires, and neither one of them returned them. Justin Murphy filled out our questionnaire and therefore received our endorsement. To go even
So their endorsement basically means someone was willing to fill out our questionnaire, which is okay. Okay. I guess you got to determine based on something.
further, you recklessly assert that NJRTL cut a backroom deal and got the message to help Curtis Bashaw win the primary. Nothing could be further from the truth. We proudly support Bill Spadia for governor because Bill has always been unapologetically pro-life, and we believe he will make a great governor. Most importantly, he has the right temperament to be governor and is right on all the conservative issues as well. Anyone who listens to his radio program understands how well-versed he is on all the issues facing our state and country and how well he relates to people, even among those with whom he disagrees. We supported Donald Trump both times he ran for president because we believed that he, like Bill Spadia, is the best person for the job. And yes, we got behind one candidate early because he is right on our issue and we want to win. Regrettably, there is a faction using the term MAGA that has another agenda. And that is from Marie Tassi, Executive Director of New Jersey Right to Life. The issue lies in slandering each other and making up lies. It is one thing to criticize someone, and that's totally fine. Mike Crispy can criticize whoever he wants. But when you lie about people, it doesn't matter who you're lying about. It's a horrible character flaw. It makes you not trustworthy. What we're watching is dirty politics, and it's unfortunately coming from the right. If we are to win a grassroots candidacy for the governorship in New Jersey, this is not the way. We have been through too many years of bullshit in this country. We got Donald Trump elected. That was a tall order. So in New Jersey, we've got to get it together. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous and it needs to stop. Like, I know the truth is, I know you have big aspirations for political office, but you don't have kids in this state. You don't even have family in this state. They're in Florida. So don't come to New Jersey trying to get the easy job in Ocean County by destroying whatever chances we have of saving this state.
So there you go. Now I need you guys to guide me. What am I supposed to believe in here now? I got two purported MAGA sides here who are warring in my home state of New Jersey. And I don't know, like, you know, that letter there from the Right to Life person kind of explains why it is that they supported Murphy. I got Trump here, all, you know, being very supportive of Mike Crispy. These are tough decisions. Tough decisions. I got one New Jersey viewer here telling me stay away from Spadia. He's an absolute grifter. I will say this, you know, on the issue as to whether or not he's a grifter. We looked at his website. Whenever I see agenda without policy, I get a grifter feel to it. I clarified to you that when I was looking through his agenda, what he is hoping to get done. The difference between agenda and policy is agenda is what do you hope to get done? Policy is how you're going to get there. What roads are you going to drive over? What bridges are you going to cross? What's your path to get there? How do you plan on bringing that ship home? And one of the ways that I'm able to help tell the difference between grifter and reality is a grifter is going to tell me what I want to hear. And I'm not saying Bill Spadilla is a grifter at all. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm saying I can't take him seriously as a candidate until I see policy. This is agenda. Defend New Jerseyans from illegal immigration. Great idea. How? What? What are you going to do? Make New Jersey affordable. Great idea. How? Fix our crumbling infrastructure. I mean, just the how is time to cut waste and lower taxes for individuals. Everyone can say lower taxes. That doesn't mean anything. Where are you cutting taxes? Are you cutting property taxes? How are you going to fill that void as far as where our waste? And you have to sort of tell me what you plan on cutting. What are you going to be able to do as the chief of the executive branch of the state of New Jersey as governor without if you're sitting there chairing over a Democratic, what we should anticipate is going to be mostly Democrats sitting in our legislature. So what are you going to do? You sort of need to walk me through it so I can get behind you. Until then, I'm not saying you are a grifter. I just can't tell you apart from a grifter. I want to say that one more time to be clear. I'm definitely not saying Bill Spadilla is a grifter. Some people in my audience are saying that. I've never met him. I don't know him. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I'll tell you this. I can't tell you apart from a grifter if you can't give me policy. So now, all I have left here, so what do I have left now? What do I have left? What I'm left with is I have defender of the Republic giving me concerns about Mike Crispy, and I got questions about Bill Spadilla. Both of them sounded awesome when I first introduced you to them. They both sound awesome. And then I start peeling back the layers of the onion and cutting through all the crap. And I don't know what I have. I don't know what I have. What would you? I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with this. Very frustrated. Her message doesn't include Bramnick in the equation. I think she said that Bramnick is pro-abortion. FYI, message is short. Trump posted a couple hours ago. He posted that short yesterday. I saw what you shared with me, Drop Barracuda. We watched this yesterday. I think I opened with this yesterday. It's really
Mr.
good.
President, for a second time. Barack, very nice to see you.
With this.
Congratulations. How you doing? A lot better, Dad. Yeah, I bet. No,
It's great.
Oh, really? Well, come on. Anyone could beat her.
Kidding
She's
me?
just...
I was just as appalled. You know what happened? You just didn't want to leave.
I know.
Is what happened. I did what I could to help her. She was horrendous.
I know. You know what I realized? Hillary still hates me. So much. I know. She'll never forget me.
His eyes. She looks like Satan.
We should meet to discuss
I
this.
think so too. We can definitely set something up. Let me know whatever
Oh, we
works
got-
best for you.
I was going to fly back to Florida tomorrow for the golf.
Okay.
This won't get old anytime soon.
Did you see that? She won't even look at me.
Really? I was told some of her people. Apparently, they said she fell off the wagon.
I think she actually may have. Sure. And also, she's not really built for this. That amount of pressure, if you're not built for it, we'll do it.
There you go. Her messaging, Bramnick, political debate debutante versus political animal. Call a spadilla a spadilla. I see what you did there. Political debutante versus political animal. Call a spadilla a spadilla. I like it. I like it a lot. Unlimited abortions and more a challenge than law. I don't know what that means, but. And you're right, Joe. A lot of pretty destinations, but no way to get there. Bill S. knows hot button issues thanks to his radio show, but not how to fix it. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. He needs his own little state doge. That's what we need here. We need a little state doge. A state doge. Yeah, I guess. Joe, did you hear about the NICU nurse who got arrested for harming the babies in the NICU? She broke a baby's leg? No. What? 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 No. Why? Why are there people like this? Why? I didn't hear about this. No. No. God. God, that just depresses me. All right. Let's get into the humanities here, because I want to get into the humanities. I had a lot of people mad at me. A lot of people are mad at me. I got a lot of people mad at me. Some of them thinking I'm creating rage clickbait or whatever, or troll baiting. I don't know what, but I wasn't even thinking of that when I wrote this, when I wrote my comment on this. Okay. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Do we got everything out? In Texas, wish us luck. Speaker vote tomorrow. It's currently a nasty fight on the GOP side. Well, best of luck. Best of luck indeed. Politics make animals of the kindness of gentlemen. All right. Yesterday, the Packers came to Philadelphia, the link, and tried playing football. Didn't do very well. Was not a good game. This was the first round of the playoffs. And they ended up losing to the Eagles in Philadelphia. Philadelphia actually looked pretty strong. Defense looked pretty strong in particular. Now, there was an incident in the stands. An incident in the stands. I'm warning you now. Some of the language here is not safe for Virginians. So I'm just warning you now. I'm just warning you now. I'm also warning you, some of you are going to disagree with my opinion about this story, which has gone kind of viral. This has been shared. 98,000 likes, 14,000 shares. So that's pretty viral. I'm calling that viral. 98,000 likes, that's a lot of likes for some nobody. Okay, here we go.
After reviewing the play, the runner was short of the goal line. They got one more yard though. They're close. Yeah, but they're not hitting on a touchdown. Yeah. So you don't jerk off thumb in the air. Okay, well, don't call her a dumb cunt. He's an ugly dumb cunt. Cool. After the third quarter. Yup.
Okay. All right. There you go. That's the incident. This was shared by the fiance of this guy, Alexander Bissara. So he said, what it's like on Philly just trying to root for your team, unprovoked, uncalled for. Packers Twitter, help me out and find this guy. This is not okay. I hate that my fiance had this happen, simply cheering for her team. Okay. All right. I just want you to note. So now what's your, let's start with this before I get into anything here. What is your reaction to this little exchange? I want to see what you guys have to say about this exchange. Is this something that was just outrageous? Do you think that this is no big deal? What is your take on it? Outrageous? No, I'm going to put a poll up. Let's put a poll up. And in locals, if you think it's a big deal, say yes. If you think it's not a big deal, say no. Okay. And I'll do a poll over here in my other, what's this other little format called YouTube. Start a poll. We'll watch it one more time. Was this a big deal? Mary Isme says yes. It's called alcohol. I love the anger. It's a sign of the times. Clearly, this guy hasn't been to any Eagles games. I don't know what that means. I will play it again. Let's watch it again. In fact, I'll share it where. Yeah. Does that have the whole thing? I'm gonna play it 2 more times. In fact, let's do this one more time. Here we go.
After reviewing the play, the runner was short of the goal line. They got one more yard now. They're close.
Even the way he's like explaining, they're not in this. Okay.
Okay, well, don't call or don't hunt. He's an ugly dumb cunt. Cool.
This gets uglier every time I look at it. Not going to kid you. And look at what she does. Look at her face here. Tell me how affected she is. Okay. First, she makes this face like this, right? And then she starts mocking him with the little boo-hoo crying hands.
Yep.
So there you go. There you go. That was the exchange right there. That was sticks and stones. Let me say. What are you saying in Rumble? Yes or no? I'm not seeing any yeses or nos. Why don't I see? Ramalon saying you can't call a stranger C word. It's not right. I don't see any. YouTube does pay me. Nothing. It's Mary Ismes. K. Ray says nope. Use only. So basically, Rumble is very much is very mixed bag. Red Delta saying WDGAF. Linkowitz is very in the whole. This is terrible. This is. I'm getting a lot of yeses from Linkowitz. A lot of this. A lot of that. Okay. See, this is very surprising to me because Rumble is very 50-50. I always look at Rumble as the more they're like they're like the motorcycle gang portion. That's how I look at them. I could be wrong, totally wrong. they're the biker gang part of my audience. So I would think that they would totally be like much more leaning towards this being no big deal. That's what I would assume. That's what I would have assumed. That's what I would have guessed. But apparently I was mistaken. Ever go to a sporting event with your kids? I had a great time with my son, 3 grandsons, and 3-year-old granddaughter at the Red Wings game yesterday. Yeah. Okay. This is a country healing. Nobody's leaking. I don't even know what that means. That one went over my head. Well, anyway, I made a comment about this. Which apparently was not very popular. It was not very popular at all. And I didn't expect to get the backlash that I got. Like I said, I guess I wandered over into the wrong portion. The wrong portion of the internet. Because, oh my God, I don't think I've ever gotten this much hate before. And I was like, I don't take it back. It was the same clip over here. This time shared by Dove Kleiman. I don't know who that is. But I don't know how this ended up in my timeline. I don't know anything about this. So I wrote, why is there no place for that in sports? Because he wrote, there's no place for this in sports. So I said, why is there no place for that in sports? He didn't threaten her, intimidate her physically. If people cannot freely vent at sporting events, where can they? If they can't freely vent at sporting events, where can they? That's why we have sporting events. So this guy wants to mouth off. Would I ever say such a thing? I think I've been on the air here a long time that there's no way if I was at a sporting event, I would be screaming that at any person. I don't say that word. I don't say, there's a lot of other words which are deemed a lot less offensive that I would never say. So would I ever say such a thing? No. I certainly embrace that he should have the right to say it without being castigated or shunned by society. This was bothering me. I mean, look at that little reaction she gave there. Look at this. I mean, she's like, she's making a mockery of the statement of I'm so hurt, crying like that. Like, this is no shrinking violet. This is not someone who's like, this is not some delicate flower that everyone's making So I don't know what happened before this exchange. This starts over here. I don't know what happened 5 minutes earlier, like when they thought he scored the touchdown, because I think this play happened that it looked like the Packers scored and then he was ruled out of the end zone. So she probably was cheering, and I don't know if she said anything to Eagles fan or not. I have no idea. Maybe she did. Maybe she didn't. I don't know. What I do know is, so this guy said something. There was no moment here where he looks like he's about to go physical on anyone. It's words. It's just words. And some reason, a lot of folks make a big deal. I notice right now, as far as I'm aware, there are 3 words, which are apparently, these are the words that can never be uttered by any human being without there being calls for a person to be canceled, thrown out of society, etc. You're all familiar with the N word. This is the C word, and then there's the F word relating to one part of the alphabet community, right? So you have the F word, the C word, and the N word. You use any of those words, and all of a sudden, boom, you are just in Greenland. Just go to Greenland and pray that Trump buys it, because you're done. You're done. And I'm just like, there's a lot of other slurs out there. There's a lot of slurs out there. It's all nasty words. I'm not trying to say they're nice words. I'm not saying they're words I'd be using in society in any sort of setting. I just don't like the way that we treat people who do use those words. He's at a freaking sport. He's at an Eagle game, a playoff Eagle game. I don't care. I'm like, if not here, where? If not here, where? So basically, you're telling me there's no circumstance he can do it. And then I'm like, so you don't even know what she may have done beforehand. She could have been the biggest biatch ever for 10 minutes up until that moment. And then you get a clip of this, and it's like, oh my God, let's find this guy. Let's tar him and feather him and throw him off into Saigon. We're going to put him in the little arena there. We'll get the lions out. We'll have Caesar come out with the thumb up, thumb down type of thing. We'll give him a little wooden sword for him to like sort of fend them off. Maybe we'll put him in the whole steel cage match type of thing with like, I don't know, leprosy. I just like, would I say such a thing? No. Do I think such a thing to be said is gross? Yeah. Does it increase my respect for this guy that he said it? Obviously not. I just don't like the fact that, like, oh my God, this is like, there's no place for this in sports. Oh, give me my pearls. Oh, no, there's no place for this anywhere in the sporting world. Oh, this is terrible. She doesn't even look like she cares. Doesn't look like she cares at all. Look at her. Like trying to like mock him with like, oh, you call me an ugly, like she's making a joke out of it. But no, look at the hate I got. Oh my God. 104 comments. 19 likes. 104 comments. Oh my God. Oh my God. People basically spent all day calling me the C word. That's what I had all day. People were calling me the C word just because, like, because I wrote this. Very, very offensive stuff. Maybe just be a decent human being. Now, I did respond to some of this. Verbally bullying another person. Well, yeah. So it's bullying. She's done nothing to provoke his disgusting behavior. I don't know how any of these people know these things. This guy over here, the Saurus, you've definitely been a P your entire crappy life. It's just one person after another. You literally interject to stand for a loser attempting to bully a woman, which definitely proves how much of a P you are. And without any surprise to me, you're also too effing stupid to understand the simplicity of the concept. Standard inbred I actually think this word is nastier than the C word. Not going to kid you. My personal opinion. And then I had to throw this at him just because I was like, you're going to be some stupid cuck beta. I had to throw this at him. So obviously he's going to respond and then block me, which is what he did. This is the Saurus. What's the Saurus? What's the Saurus? I guess it's supposed to be like Thesaurus, but like the Saurus. Isn't that clever? He's a grandfather of a battle rap champion. I guess perhaps he should have asked his grandkid to help him out because he had to run away because he blocked me. So, yeah, that's the Saurus. The Saurus, who basically is left calling me a dip. An inbred dip. So, yeah, a lot of people are not happy with me. A lot of people are not happy with me. And I don't know what that means. You look like Steven Spielberg with AIDS? What does that even mean? What? I don't look anything like Steven Spielberg. What are you talking about? Is that a Jew thing? Is that what that is? It's totally a Jew thing, right? That's totally a Jew thing. Oh my God, I'm so oppressed. Oh, the calamity. Oh my God. These words, it's like he's assaulting me every time. It's like he's punching me in the Chrissy Teigen. So that's my question for you. If you think that this is a terrible thing, if you were one of the people who voted that this is a terrible thing, a terrible, terrible thing, walk me through this. Because to me, this whole thing would have ended like 5 minutes. No one would have remembered this. No one would have remembered it 10 minutes after it happened. But this has now become the big calamity where we have to try and hunt this guy down. Help me, Packer Nation. You're my only help. Help me identify this person so we can expose him. For what? To try to shun him on social media? To try and get him fired? I don't know. To me, this is not a big deal. I don't get it. I don't see it. I am going to open the phone lines. I want to hear from those of you who want to tell me that I'm such a jerk for taking this position. To me, this is what football, people in a football stadium, they're yelling at each other, they're cursing at each other. This is no big deal. And I'll tell you something else. If there's different rules, that if there's a woman in the stands, that this changes everything, I don't get that at all. Because the whole thing about equality is that, hey, look, you're supposed to treat everyone equal. So assuming that she, basically mouthed off at him first, is there something wrong with him saying that? Is it because he used that particular word? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I very much don't like the whole concept of that, hey, this is a certain word that when you said this word, now you cross the line. So if he called her a biatch, would that have been okay? I think most people say yeah, but they think that this word is, for one reason or another, uniquely terrible. And I don't understand that. I don't understand why this word is even any worse than the kitten word. I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh. I am going to open the phone line up. 972-454-0703. I want to hear from those of you who think I'm in the wrong here. Walk me through it. If you think I'm in the wrong, walk me through it. The number is 972-454-0703. Right there. You see? It's right. It's 974-540-0703. 972-454-0703. There it is. It's going to come back around. Don't worry, in case you...
Call from Little Mom Cecil.
Here we go. Here we go. All right. What do you got for me? I hope you're calling to tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, no. I absolutely 100% am in agreement with you. Only because I am a person who is not one that is affected by words. I mean, to understand somebody like me, my late husband, he was John the Bastard. I mean, I didn't give him the name. He came with it. But, I mean, he's one that would push buttons. He would say things like that. He called me the C word so many times, I thought it was my name for a while. I mean, and then you got to get to this point where you can't react to it because that's their button that they push for the reaction.
Yes.
So that's all he was doing.
Yes.
He was trying to get a reaction, and that's exactly what he did.
Yes. Yes. And all these people coming in to white knight and simp and be like, oh, you poor thing. Oh, let's all give a collective group hug here and make you feel better about that terrible experience of your life. I hope, how much counseling she must need. Oh, the counseling bill is going to be through the roof of that time. Someone in the link called her the C word. Can you believe it? Can you even?
Nope. It just really, it's beyond me how people can be so like butthurt all the time about things. My daughter, who feels the exact same way, she's like, I don't understand why all these girls are always crying about all of this stuff all the time, and then they want to just sit there and fight and throw fists and stuff. It doesn't make any sense. Words are words. Who cares? Once you put hands on it, it's a different story.
Totally different.
That's all.
Totally different. Then I had some people telling me I wouldn't defend my wife. And I was like, if a drunk guy started saying that to her, and I'm thinking about it, and I was like, if a drunk guy called her that, I probably wouldn't do anything about it. I'd probably be like, yeah, I mean, like, he's an idiot. Like, what am I like sitting here worrying about it? Like,
My husband, when we would be out, he would tell me because, well, sometimes it depends on how, liquored up I may be, and loose my mouth is. And so he'll just most of the time just tell me to sit down and shut up because he doesn't want to have to get in a fight because of my mouth, which is probably exactly what was going on that night anyways.
Yeah. I think there's a Key and Peele skit where the fat guy plays some chick who's like mouthing off at some gangster. She's like, my man gonna kick your ass. He's like, she doesn't really mean that. She doesn't really mean. No, I mean it. You're gonna kick you. It's like you're just sort of like dragging him like more and more into that fight, and you're just like, wait. Now I actually have to defend your honor. Exactly. It's like you walk us into this situation. Now I gotta defend your honor here and like take an ass kicking. Like, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, right. We are more like I think my thought and my late husband, we're more like the All in the Family kind of family. Ethel and all of Archie, the whole thing. We're old school. Words are words. You're not physically hurt. Get over it.
It's not even like there was any moment of him posing a threat. Like, even if there was that moment of him posing a physical threat, that changes the entire context 100%. This now changes into like, all right, get this animal out of here. He's a lunatic. No one should ever be at a game in fear that they're going to be, they're going to be put in a situation that their physical safety is being threatened. Totally on board with that. But just some stupid name, please. All right. Well, I appreciate the call. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe.
Take care. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. 972-454-0703. I mean, that's harsh. She's like a solid 6C word. I think you're being generous there. Everyone knows that Philly fans are classless, the dregs of humanity. By the way, pretty sure you're taking steps someone calling Shoshana a vile word. No, I would be like, and it's just Shauna, not Shoshana, but
Call
yeah.
from
one old guy's opinions.
To accept, press.
One old guy. You disagree with me?
Of course I do. Just on sheer principle.
I know my generation is going to agree with me 100%. I'll be like, it's like 97% of them, aside from the real elitist losers. I know there's no way on earth you disagree with me on my take on this one. There was no one old guy's opinions. There's no way someone with that name is going to disagree with me about this scenario. But just weigh in. Give me your thoughts.
My thoughts, I'm beside myself, wondering why this world has become a bunch of, how do you say, G words?
G words?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, gay.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh,
this is
sorry.
our language. This is our language. Remember that.
Right.
Like a bunch
okay.
of slang together.
Okay. So you could have just said F word. Right?
Yeah, in this effing word, F
Yeah.
words. And they're all a bunch of C words.
Yep.
And what they need is a big old
kick in the A.
No, well, what's another word for a rooster?
Oh, I don't know.
That'd be a cock.
Yeah, I know what you were saying. Oh my gosh.
Well, like a peacock.
Yes, exactly. One of those. Those peas. Yeah.
Rammed in the posterior.
I want to leave the phone lines open for someone who's actually disagreeing with me. I don't need to. I'm looking to hear the other side of the coin as to why this is so terrible, and that's what I really want. I want to have that dialogue. I was sure that I thought the numbers in YouTube would be much higher. I really did. I thought the YouTube numbers. I thought it'd be like. I'm going to take this next call. Hopefully, this is someone who's disagreeing with me. Okay, brother.
No bots going to call in.
Take care, my friend.
Call from
Jason.
What do we got? Who's this?
Hey, it's Jason. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, Jason. You got to turn me down in the background.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm watching the Lakers. Don't ask me why. I hate that LeBron James stuff.
All right.
I hate that LeBron James bastard. All right, I have a couple reasons. I actually have an example. I'm a quadriplegic. I broke my neck in 2016. Been in an electric wheelchair. Right. So I go to a doctor. I see he's wearing a Vermont shirt. So I already know some guy in the waiting room. Right. He's talking to me. You know, one of those bleeding heart feels bad for me. Right. So I make a comment about Vermont hoops because they're the Catamounts. I went to UConn. We're the best basketball program ever. Mm-hmm. So he goes. So I didn't say shit about politics, right? He decides he's gonna interject and say, well, when that guy made fun of handicapped people, I knew exactly the kind of person he was, right? And this is right before the 24 election. Right. Happened not that long. So I said that's the way he moves his hands when he talks. I said there's a million examples of him doing the same thing. And I said he goes, I have the video, you want to see it? I said I can show you the exculpatory evidence, but you'll never look at it. And then he said, I know where this conversation's going, and shut down the conversation, right? And I could see a couple like older, we're in Boca Raton. I mean, this is older people, right? So, and I'm young. I'm in my 50s, early 50s. So I couldn't wait. So why I'm in there getting my ultrasound, whatever else, and I go and get her, and within 30 seconds, I find the video that shows all the different clips and how he does it. And I even told the guy to look up Brandon Straka from the World Walkaway campaign because that is the number one reason he got red pilled. Right? So now my thing is, people get offended for other people now.
Yes.
Right?
I have so little patience with that.
And I could give you one guess, and you know exactly the racial makeup and of this person I was talking to, a man, by the way. Mm-hmm. I mean, if he had hair, it would have been blue.
Yeah. So first and foremost, you said you're
as far as what happened at the game.
Yeah.
He just shouldn't. There's no reason to drop a C-bomb on her. All right. I've been at games. I was at a Jet game, and it was back when they were wearing like pink hats, and it would be like a Jet hat.
Right.
So these guys are walking, and we're all drunk in the parking lot, me and my friends. So and I'm with like my two little brothers who were from Seattle, and well, not really, it's a long story, but they're from Seattle. So we go to the Seahawks game, and I see that they're walking up, and I'm like, hey, how's your friend taste? Right? And like people like people I'm with, we're fucking howling. A couple people laughing, and this guy turns and looks back with like this look on his face, and we all looked at him. And he looked just like the actor Ed Rooney from Ferris Bueller. And I go, shit, Ed Rooney's pissed. Dude, my friend, and this is fucking 25 years, easily 30 years ago, right? And these guys are the road to this day. They bring that up. How funny that was. But dude, people get offended for other people, man. You gotta, and especially now, and they think like, I want them to. The first thing I tell people is don't feel bad for me. They start doing that all. I said don't start that shit.
No, it's like the worst thing in the world. And by the way, it's the same, and it's not at all like the same in the same vein, and yet completely different. The same way you want to be treated like anyone else, a woman at a football game wants to be treated like anyone else. And you would say it to a dude, right? You would use the exact same word to a dude. So just because she happens to be a woman, to say like all of a sudden this is some grave offense is so stupid. It's actually sexist. It's actually sexist. You're basically saying she's too weak for you to throw that at, to hurl that at her.
But are you gonna call? I mean, you'll call another guy a dick, but you're gonna call some guy you don't know at the fucking place a fucking cock sucking faggot piece of, you know what I mean? Are you gonna go that hard in on him to get a visceral response from him? Because there's some guys that'll take that. Just like that broad laughed it off. The broad laughed it off because she knew she was in hostile territory.
Right.
She knew what she was getting into. She knows she's going to a play. She knows she's going to a play game.
I don't think she was offended, bro. I don't think she was.
She
She does her whole like, oh, I'm so hurt. Like she's like sitting there dishing it back, and I have no problem with that. I have more problem with her boyfriend uploading and saying, "Help me find this guy."
Right.
I have much bigger problem with that.
That's the reason I called. That's the reason I called. The guy getting offended for her, he was more at fault than the guy calling her.
Amen. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate the call.
All right, no problem, Joe. Man, I like you. I've been watching. Of all the LawTube guys, you're the one that covers everything so in depth and explains it in a way. And you live in North Jersey. I'm a Jersey boy. I'm in Boca now. I live like 5 minutes from Viva.
Really? Yeah. I was actually I was talking to Viva about whether he's coming into DC because I was hoping to meet him when he comes in. He's like, I don't know. I'm like, dude, seriously.
I almost went to the America's Untold Stories thing they had in West Palm because that's right by me.
Oh yeah.
But I got a home health aide. I'm a quadriplegic.
Right.
And that's a late night for me, and I'd have to pay extra out of the people. But I could have a conversation all night about all the Medicare benefits that I've been losing when all the migrants started coming. I mean, every month it's like they were taking another benefit away from me, somebody who was paid into it for 30 years.
Maybe another time, brother. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate
Another time. Thank you, Joe.
Have a good night, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wow. I'm starting to feel a little better. I've been called so many things, including the C word. I always smile and say, thank you. I worked hard for that. There you go. Words really don't bother me, and everyone needs to vent sometimes. And if you don't let them vent there, then what? Then what do you want from him? What do you want from him? It's like, it's like we need to control him.
Call from
Denise.
Denise.
Hey, Joe.
Are you going to disagree with me, Denise?
I'm gonna
do it. No, you can. I'm not going to be mad at you.
Okay.
I'm not going to embarrass you. I'm not going to do any. I want to hear. I want you to walk me through exactly why this particular word or what it is about this situation that you think I have wrong.
I think he's low intellect, honestly, because if he was really trying to insult her, he could have come up with something better than the C word.
Okay, that's true. I agree with you.
So, I mean, I agree with you. It's a stupid story. I mean, honestly, they're at the Eagles game.
Yep.
So, first of all, both teams suck. Second of all, if you're going to go to a sports game in general, you should have a thicker skin. Or not that she didn't, but her fiance should have a thicker skin. And him being the man, it just shows who wears the pants in that relationship.
Oh yeah. I had the same thought. I was like, this dude is totally whipped. He is totally whipped. Yeah.
And then, at the Eagles, they have a jail under their stadium for a reason. That's not a place that you go with a thin skin. You have to. I would not go. I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, and my friends have offered to take me to the Eagles game in Philadelphia, and there's no way in HE double hockey sticks I'd ever go to the Eagles game at home. Only in Dallas. There's no way.
I mean, unless you're gonna go incognito and like root silently, be like sort of like under your thing, be like, yes.
I wouldn't be able to do that. I'm serious. I'm like die-hard Cowboys. I could not scream and shout if we were doing well.
And
like,
you would have beer dumped on you. It would just be like
exactly.
It would
nachos, hot dogs, mustard, ketchup. So no.
I gotta tell you. Want to hear something? You want to hear something like the weirdest sports celebration pain of my life was in 2004 when the Yankees collapsed up 3-0, and they collapsed to Boston. And game 7 was like an utter clusterfuck. And I was like, there was so much pain. I mean, I was like diehard Yankee fan. Like I was following like every game. I was really into, I was just very diehard. And I had this I was with a friend of mine who was also a diehard Yankee fan. And we were in Manhattan, and there was one Boston bar in Manhattan where all the Boston fans went to. So we went there after Game 7, and they're screaming for Johnny Damon. They didn't know Johnny Damon was going to become a Yankee, they actually the best thing I saw about Johnny Damon, because he had this long flowing hair and long beard, was looks like Judas after he became a Yankee. So the Boston fans made a T-shirt with his face on it, which says, "Looks like Jesus, hits like Mary, acts like Judas." So which I was like, that is a really good shot. You gotta get credit where credit's due. You got, but I can tell you the weird thing about this. The way I dealt with that pain is I actually went in there with my friend, and we were like, all right, let's pretend we're Boston fans. And we just started like screaming, like, yeah, we got him. And it was like, I was almost internally like sort of like mocking them by like celebrating with them, that you don't even know when you're celebrating with like an enemy. It's like, you're hugging everyone as if like you're lifelong brothers. It was a weird sort of, it was a very weird sort of experience, like just walking in there and just sort of like pretending to be enjoying it. But it actually helped me deal with the pain a lot, because I sort of felt as if like, I don't know, you sort of feel like you're kind of making a mockery of their victory, and like the massive love they have for each other, which like you don't even know who you're hugging, but you're just sort of like,
right.
Anyway, it was wow, I can't believe it's 20 years ago already. Anyway, but the point is that when it comes to sports, yeah, you're right. If you're going into hostile territory, especially a place that is notoriously hostile. I mean, they are infamous, and they're considered, they're considered. They
burned their city down when they won those Super Bowls.
Yes,
so,
yes,
seriously,
yes. Everyone knows they're lunatics. So you're gonna sit there like whining. I can't believe, like, she's like sitting there like doing a whole crying thing. I think her boyfriend's the crier here. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, one more thing. I would have told him to eat an entire bag of D's and then turn around and enjoy the rest of the
half
game.
a bag, an entire bag.
The entire bag.
I want to see no leftovers in that bag there. I don't want to see no leftovers. The entire bag.
The entire bag. All of them. All right. Well, I will let you go. Hopefully somebody will actually disagree with you, but I don't think you will. I don't know. I'm Jeanette, so
someone
maybe.
disagrees with me.
Maybe you can find a blue-haired Gen Z or something somewhere in your
someone in my audience. Some of my audience can be like, "Wow, Joe, that's really dark of you. How do you?"
Yeah.
Someone there. Thanks, Denise.
You're welcome.
Have
Bye.
a good night. This guy tells stories like a C-word. Not agreeing with me. this thing. Damn it. Oh, I know what happened here. Hold on. I'm coming. I'm coming. I see it now. I said I'm coming. Wow. I said I'm coming. Every time I get in the shower. That's really strange.
Call from.
This is Sam the Man.
He hung up.
Call from.
Terry from Bible Belt, Oklahoma.
To accept, press 1.
Carrie from Bible Belt, Oklahoma. Is that what you said?
I did.
Nice.
But it's not going to matter because I agree with you. I tell you what, I think we don't have the full picture here because the guy went from zero to extreme name-calling hero in about 2 seconds. So, like, I feel like we're missing, like, the front part of that where she may have been more involved.
Totally. Totally.
And,
because normally he would start with bitch and then work his way up. Right? I mean, that's what happens. Right? You start, start there. And then no one goes from 0 to 90. Right?
No. I mean, it went straight into C and hello world, you know.
I'm here. I'm here.
Right? I just don't think we have the full picture. They either edited that front part out to make him look like a jerk or something. But my bottom line is this. I grew up going to OU football games with my 2 older brothers, wearing my OU gear, going to the Texas game, big rival, all the games. But anyway, if I got into a brouhaha, there's a word for you, with somebody in the stands from the other team, my brothers would just sit back and go, hey, we taught you to fight, go for it. And I mean, I would probably be in there just, you know, in the middle of it. So it just happens at football games, people.
It's part of what makes it a football game. You
Yeah,
ever go to a hockey
you know.
game? I mean, look, in soccer games or, you know, what they call football, there's actually like brawls in the stands. You're sitting here whining about the C word, crying out loud.
Yeah, when did we get so weak? Well, the last 4 years probably made some people weak, but some of us are standing strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
look, and
sorry,
again,
I'm from-
I don't think that this guy displayed class. I don't think he displayed anything positive about himself. I just think it's weak. It is such weak sauce for the internet to try, like, you know, coming after him. I'm just like, this is just like, this is what cucks do. This is not.
Yeah, and
I
then
don't want my
coming
society to
after
become that.
you. They came after you, which is ridiculous. Come on.
They came after
people.
me for basically saying that this is a sporting event. If you can't vent here, where can this is where you're going to have a good time. You want to, and like, yeah, you're gonna be yelling at fans of the other team. And so if the language gets a little off color, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah,
Why? Why do you care? She didn't care.
To speak to your previous caller, I'm a big Dallas Cowboys fan, but I would probably go to the game. I'd wear a football helmet. You know, they're going to throw junk on me, but and I have one to wear. So
there you go.
You know, football helmet, and you know, go and mix it up. That's just what you do. So anyway, I tricked you with the Bible Belt, or tried to. It was real lame. You
That's
know,
all right.
it was lame.
That's all right. No, I thought it was
Okay.
I was like, is that the name of a town, or is that?
No, but I live in Bernieville, so that's not any better.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Joe.
Take care. Carissa says these words are exchanged daily by 1,000 people. Why this particular exchange was of any significance is retarded. Can I say retard? Can I say retard? Can I say retard? Can I say it? I said boy. I said boy. It's retarded. It's retarded. Good talking to you. Got to go to bed. Got on early morning tomorrow. Next time I'll have a joke. Next call in if you'd like to hear one. Awesome. I'd love to. Dude could very well have been an Aussie. Could have been. Time. Reclaiming my time. When Jones is 6 feet under, then the Johnson's curse will be lifted, and then Cowboys will win another championship. I hope so. I'm tired of him.
Call from
Kimmy Hunt.
Kimmy, are you here to yell at me, Kimmy?
No, why would I yell at you?
Are you here to tell me I'm wrong?
Well, you didn't do anything to offend me. Well, first of all, my last name is Hunt.
What do you think I said?
No, listen. My last name is Hunt.
And your initial is K. Your initial is K.
So it's
yeah, I
right?
got it. I got it. I got it.
Okay,
so this is a
years,
word. This is a word which, in particular, rubs you wrong.
It does because I'm a little hypersensitive to it because of my growing up and getting in middle school.
I'm
and
sure
all
you
the
had it
boys,
all the time. I'm sure you got it.
And they reversed. My name is Kim. So they took the H and put it on the M. So I was him. Got it?
Him? Really?
Him. CUNT.
Right.
You put those two together and you've got a male and a female. You got it.
Nice.
The guys thought that was really funny. Really, really funny. I agree with you.
What about your brother Mike?
No, there's nobody in my family named Mike. For a reason.
You don't say. Why would that be?
I've got a brother Gordon and I've got a brother Gary. And yeah, my parents stayed away.
Your parents
from
didn't
Michael.
realize that by giving you a name that starts with that they're setting you up for a lifetime.
Yeah, and I had a male cousin named David.
All right.
So we stayed away from Michael. Anyway, but I agree with you, and this is why. Sticks and stones. I've been told that since I was a little tiny girl. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never harm me. That woman had to have been.
By the way, people are
needling
pointing out
man.
that G Hunt is not really much better, but if you put
Gunt?
that together. Yeah, that's actually.
Gunt isn't that bad.
Do you know what that?
No.
Do you know that? You never heard that term before?
No, never have. Don't educate me.
I won't. I don't need
to know.
That's why there's Urban Dictionary.
Okay, I'm not going to look it up at this point in my life. I've got enough on my plate. But
it's way. Trust me. By the way, it's much worse. It's actually much worse. It's much worse.
Okay, I believe you. I believe you. But my thought is, number one, she was needling him for a long time throughout that game because
Almost
she got
definitely.
a reaction out of him, and that's why she did the boo hoo hoo, because she was getting a kick out of it. If her fiance, whatever, the guy who posted this thing, would have been that upset, he would have thrown fists. Okay, he didn't.
Well,
So
he said in
until-
his post that he's like in a follow up to his post. He's like, he was there with three guys. One of them was his brother, and we were in Philly, and I would have gotten destroyed if I tried fighting that guy.
Okay, so what? He wants to dox this guy now and get him fired? And all that kind of stuff?
Apparently,
Look,
based on his post, yeah.
My theory is he wasn't that upset about this. He said to his girlfriend, "Look, babe, we can post this on X, and it will go viral, and we will have
all these likes and all these comments, and we will have a viral video. Let's go ahead and post this and say, can Twitter help me find this guy? Da, 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 da. This was all staged to get Twitter in an uproar for a 24-hour period.
It's part of the whole victim mentality thing of like, oh, look at my poor girlfriend being abused by Philly fans. Oh, being abused by Philly fans. Those mean, evil Neanderthal Philly fans. And look, I understand they can be gross, they can be childish, they can be overly aggressive. I'm not disputing any of that. I'm simply saying, get over it. It's actually part of the charm of Philly.
Get over it. It's over. It's somebody you'll never see again in the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Too bad. So
no,
sad.
I have to use this to try and ruin his life. Honestly, he lives in Philly. Hopefully, he got him a promotion.
Well, you gotta give me some pity here. You know, I'm a Bengals fan, so you know we're used to the abuse.
Are you really? What happened to them this year? What happened?
What happens to them every year?
That offense is ridiculous. I mean, Joe Burrow had the year of his life. Jamar Chase had arguably the best year any receiver ever had. I mean, it was one of the top 5 years any receiver ever had. I mean, I guess it's not Cooper Kupp or what Randy Moss did with Brady, but it was pretty close. It was pretty close. Yep. He had a phenomenal sick year. T. Higgins was phenomenal. Chase Brown.
Absolutely.
Chase Brown looks like the second coming. I mean, the guy looks like a phenomenal little running back. How bad is your defense?
The Cincinnati is the GOP of Ohio.
What does that mean?
You know, they
GOP is
can't
taking
figure
Ohio.
out how to not lose.
I don't know.
The rhinos, you know, the ones that, you know, they just, you know, all I can say is I haven't really enjoyed the team since Boomer Esiason.
Wow.
I love Boomer.
All right.
Anyway, back to Kimmy Anderson. Nope, we're not going to go there.
Kimmy, right. I gotta move on. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh my gosh. Jones 6 feet under the Johnsons curse will be lifted and the Cowboys will win another championship. Good night. I can't that can't happen soon enough. Uzellen says, Joe, we all know she started it. That's the whole reason the guy has his phone out to record it. It's a great point too. All of a sudden, everything is just being recorded. So, Joe, do you have a problem with the N-word? Well, I wouldn't say it. I've gotten a pass. Nate gave me a pass, but I wouldn't say it. It's stupid.
Call from.
Drop Barracuda.
To accept, press.
Drop Barracuda. Hold on a second, brother.
All right. Man.
Johnny Reb says over was over Unger and Unger was underdone. What? You got you comedians. I don't know what you're talking about sometimes. Over was over Unger and Unger was underdone. Underdone. I don't even know who we're talking about at this point. All right.
So
you don't disagree with me. You're just here.
No, I don't.
So what the heck? What do I need to do?
No, but I do have a relevant question on this topic, though.
Go for it.
So do you think we'll ever get to a point where things like this, where people incite people to like posting things up on message boards to go find these people and go get them fired and make sure that they not only lose their job, but sometimes make it so that they can no longer make a living? That we get to a point where that can actually be prosecutable, because that's well beyond any sort of quote unquote citizen journalism. That's actually revenge and well, it's doxing, but it's also making it so that because we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in there it has got to be something about being able to make a living, and if people are purposely going after these people and just using this whole mob mentality to go get them fired, and sometimes it's just calling into their work so many times that they just get rid of the people just so they won't get calls anymore. You know, I mean, they're ruining these people's lives, and it's just mob justice. It's not has nothing to do with the courts. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. It's context.
And the idea is to get people who don't really care about this incident to intimidate them that if you keep this person around on your staff, we're going to punish you for that. It's designed to be weaponized to mobilize themselves and weaponize themselves as some sort of policing agency, like a social policing agency.
Yeah, and I've heard stories where they actually follow people and make sure that they cannot get jobs later on too.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's a terrible thing, and the same kind of thing goes for.
To be fair, I've seen that from the right also. I remember a story where it was just like there was when after July 13th when Trump was shot. So some people on the left said some really stupid stuff. Oh, too bad he had bad aim or stuff like that. Really just ugly kind of stuff, which was ugly. And I remember a video of some guy harassing a woman who's a checkout counter in Home Depot that she had posted stuff on Facebook. And I was just like, this is stupid. This is why are you, she already has a miserable life. She's a 55, 60-year-old checkout woman in Home Depot. I mean, what do you want? How much more do you want to break her? I mean, look at her life.
Yeah, no,
how much more do you want from her?
I absolutely agree. I don't think this is a partisan thing at all. I think this should be across the board. Mm-hmm. I think it should be. I think if somebody commits a crime while they're doing a live stream, I think that should be an aggravating circumstance. I think they should get more time for them or harsher penalties just because they're filming it for clout.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of thing that I think we need to start seeing, because otherwise, because this has been getting worse and worse and worse.
I'm hoping it'll get better now over the next 4 years. If people start, this is why I pushed back here, because I was like, no, we can't start saying that this, let's call this guy out. I don't like that, and that's why I pushed back, and I'll continue to push back on stuff like this because this is wrong.
Well, and thank goodness you're doing what you do, because I mean, there's people out there that would go and call your law firm if
I worked. Yeah, they would for sure. I couldn't say this if I worked for a big firm.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
Yeah,
you can't go up somebody's livelihood just because you disagree with them. That's just crazy.
Mm-hmm. All right, brother.
Anyway,
let me let you go.
Thank you, man.
Take care.
All right, thanks.
Bye. I know some of you in the chat are a little bit lost about what's going on, so let me share with you, in case you joined late, what it is that we're talking about. There was an incident, so just you're all up to speed. There was an incident, and I'll show you the incident right now. It's only a 40-second clip, where there was at the Eagle Packer game where this guy used aggressive language when he was in an argument with a woman. It was filmed, and her fiance, who I think is the one filming this, said, "Can anyone help me identify this guy who used nasty language with my fiance?"
After reviewing the play, the runner was short of the goal line. They got one more yard though. They're close.
Even his thing, they got one more yard though. They're close. He sounds like such a loser. See, he made a comment. He said, "Your little jerk off comment." That means something was said to him beforehand. This confirms what everyone was saying. Your little jerk off comment. Yeah.
Cool. After the first quarter. Yep.
I'm going to move back and forth here. And she's doing the whole wah, he called me an ugly, mocking him. So she doesn't seem like she's affected by it. If you look at her after he says it. Look at her hands. See, she does the whole wah, oh, he called me ugly. That's what she's doing there. She did it twice. See, I'm so hurt. Where she's not bothered. She's not bothered. Anyway, so this guy then sent out his clip. The fiance sent out this clip saying, "Hey, can you help me identify this guy?" And I'm like, and when I saw this, what I had written that got a lot of hate was, "Why is there no place for that?" Because I responded to, "There's no place for this in sports." And I asked, "Why is there no place for that in sports?" He didn't threaten her, intimidate her physically. People cannot freely vent at sporting events. Where can they? That's what I wrote. So, anyhow, so I'm taking phone calls now. I want to hear. I had a lot of hate. I had 113 comments against me, most of them against me, and 22 likes. That's ratio right there. That's me being ratioed, and that's why I asked my audience: do you guys think that I was? I want to hear from. I'd really like to hear from people who disagree with me. Ideally. So phone lines are back open now, in case any of you. The bro suspension needs major suit. The itchy burning. Do you have itchy burning and redness?
Call from.
This is Thad the Man.
Thad the Man.
I will disagree with you, even though I'm the guy who sent you that picture from last week at the end of the game when the Bears won and they tried that Lambeau leap and you have all those fans going wild.
Oh,
remember
is that what you sent me? I didn't understand that picture. I didn't.
Yeah,
you sent me that picture. I was like, "Why are you sharing this with me? I don't know what you're sharing. I don't know what the hell this is." What?
Yeah, because I sent you I tweeted you the story a little bit before that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so
what was the Lambeau leap thing that happened there?
Well, the Bears. I don't know if you saw that last Bears game. They had a last-minute field goal. The kicker got really excited, running around doing the football, waving the hand thing. Then he and a bunch of other Bears ran to the stands to try to do the Lambeau leap.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the fans' reaction to the Bears trying to do the Lambeau leap.
Oh, that's very funny.
And they found the woman, actually. They found the woman with that look, and all the Packer fans are praising her.
Nice. So what?
Anyway,
so tell me, give me the other side of the coin here.
Don't you know the Cowboys stole America's team from the Packers?
All right, you're out. I can't. No. I didn't ask for that. I'm having a conversation about something that's no. I don't have to. I don't have to. Try again. You could do better. Unbelievable. That's a no. That's a no from me. Exactly. That was hate speech and disinformation. That's what that was. It was hate speech, and it did sound like Chris Farley. It did sound like Chris Farley. That's pretty funny. Philly's different kind of people. Hi, at Dom. It's Babs. I'm late. Oh. Dom Mannion. Babs is late, but she sends her best. Yeah. All right. So basically, none of you disagree with me. 28% of you. I shouldn't be that surprised that 28% of you had disagreed with me. What are the numbers at here? What are the numbers at? 26% of you disagree with me. No offense. I assume that the 26% of you who disagree with me, you're too cowardly to call in because that's why you disagree with me. the same thing that's getting you to disagree with me. That's why you're not calling in. I'm baiting you. Call. Defend your position. Defend your position. I won't cut you off unless you start making up garbage and disinformation like Cowboy stole America's team. That I won't tolerate. But if you want to argue on this point, I'll hear you out.
Call from
Tim.
There we go.
To accept.
Tim.
Hey, Joe.
Do you think I'm wrong?
No, I don't disagree with you at all. After the fact, it is a C-word move to try to do something against the guy.
Thank you.
But I'll tell you, if I'm in that situation, been to plenty of games here in Baltimore, I keep an eye on that situation.
Oh yeah, you'd be looking to pop the guy in the mouth.
In case a fight breaks out, because a fight in those stands spreads out very quick and people get hurt. If those two keep going back and forth and personally attacking each other it's just a giant bar with thousands of people drinking, drunk, and lit. Now, if you're sitting at a bar somewhere, your local bar, the bar is not going to take this. These are sort of like fighting words, these C words and stuff. If you're generally razzing another fan, nothing wrong with it. But this is sort of like fighting words. And so
okay, let's talk about the whole fighting words thing. Okay, fighting words to me implies, first and foremost, it has to imply some sort of physical harm, or perhaps a mother, a reference to a mother. Then I get it. Then I get it a lot more because you're sort of like defending your mom. That's different than defending your wife or your sister or maybe your kid.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with, like I said, the situation where this is just a bar with thousands of drunks in it.
Yep.
And it's like if you're sitting at a bar and you call somebody's girlfriend a C word, you're going to get thrown out of that bar immediately because it's a dangerous situation. I mean, if you're just sitting there disagreeing over a song that's played on the jukebox or something like that. I know at Ravens games they have announcements that if people are getting unruly, go to an usher and tell them to have the people removed. So the thing I do at the time, I'm just watching this, and these people keep going back and forth at each other with these furrowed. And the guy in the Eagles things, if you notice, he's leaning in a little bit. Mm-hmm. He's leaning in a little bit. So I'm just watching it to make sure a fight doesn't break out.
They're both leaning in a little bit. It could be that the Eagle fan was leaning in because the fiance who's filming this was wearing a furry suit. It could be. I don't know. It could. I'm joking. I'm joking about that. But yeah, I don't know.
But definitely after the fact, you're right. You don't do anything like try to ruin the guy's life. If you're so offended, you go up and punch the guy in the face. I mean, if it bothers you that bad, and you defend your girl or whatever, if it bothers you that bad, but afterwards, you don't do that kind of stuff. But I'm keeping an eye on it because when we were at Memorial Stadium when I was a kid, and somebody got thrown out of the upper deck and landed behind us. We were like 10, 11, 12 years old, me and my sisters, and somebody got thrown. I mean, he was drunk as shit. Oh, excuse my words. But he got thrown out of the upper deck and landed behind us. And that's the danger of people start, not the general razzing of fans, but personally going at each other like that.
There's a whole different thing when it's getting physical. That's like a whole different thing. There was no moment here in that video where this guy looks as if he's about to physically engage. Unless he basically was like, do you want to physically engage? He was like basically saying, I'm not afraid of physically engaging. He's like, do you want to make something about it? You want to do something about it? And the guy was like, like leaning in, like, no, I don't.
Yeah, agree. If it stops in the game, it just stops there.
I really don't.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
cool. But if they, like I said, if they keep going back and forth at each other in that way, I think I'm walking down to an usher and saying, man, these people have to be removed, or somebody's got to be put somewhere else because it's going to light up.
Okay, yeah, fine. Okay, that's when there's the feeling of things getting to a physical confrontation type of thing. That's a whole different circumstance. That's because you're right. Terrible tragedies can come from that. I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
All right,
if
Tim.
you watch the videos of fights in the stands.
Oh, sure.
They just get out of hand, and kids get involved and get hurt.
Innocent bystanders who are not part of it because people fall on them. It could be terrible.
Yep.
It could be
And
terrible.
like I said, I was at Memorial Stadium, got thrown out of the upper deck and almost landed on me and my sisters when we were kids. So it can get hairy it's just a giant bar with people being drinking, drunk, and lit, so I'm just keeping an eye on it,
Yep.
But after the fact, no, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, seriously. All right. Thank you so much, Tim. I appreciate the call.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
All right, I think it's time for me to start landing my plane. I'm going to, please, only call if you disagree with me. I'm going to give 5 minutes. Only call if you disagree with me. If you call and you agree with me, I'm not going to be happy, okay? I'm going to give 5 minutes as I sort of go around to make sure that I didn't miss any comments or anything like that, and leave the phone line open. But I really don't want to hear, in case there's anyone out there who's willing to disagree with me, I don't want anyone to think that I'm ducking I got 2 people.
Call from Leanne.
Hello?
Hey, Joe.
All right.
So I disagree with you.
Here we go. Finally.
Okay.
Good for you. So
Well,
this is Anne, by the way?
use-
Your name is Anne?
Leanne.
Mia. Okay.
I'm Aloha Prepper on YouTube.
Okay.
So, okay. Well, you just said if it's your daughter or that is someone's daughter. And more than likely, the fiance heard a shitload from the soon-to-be father-in-law, over allowing somebody to do that. But the point is, she has the right to enjoy her team with tickets that she paid for, and not be harassed. The guy was just a douche. I don't think they should go after him and all that. I'm not all about the cancel culture.
Right.
But yeah, and I do think you do have a good point. You're right. We don't know what happened beforehand, but obviously something, because they're recording it at that point.
Yeah. Which tells you that it wasn't like that right there in that moment. It's very unlikely. I mean, I guess in theory, the counter to that is maybe they were recording the game. That's possible. So maybe that's why he was filming. But that seems very unlikely. And yeah, look, I don't think the guy is a good guy for saying it. I'm simply like, who cares? Like, why is the whole internet trying to like find this guy?
I bet her father cares. Would you care if that was your daughter?
I mean, would I care about it? That I'd be like, are you okay? Yeah. Were you scared at all that something was going to happen? No. So he was just basically a jerk. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay. Is it different because he chose this word? If he called her a bitch, would that have been any different at all?
If he, yeah, I think it would.
Right.
And that's just that's a cultural thing. We don't do that, right? That's really offensive in this culture. It's not just, but well, it just is.
And that's why it's like, and I think that like people make it like certain words are like so much worse than other words, and I don't like that part of this either. It's like,
well, yeah.
If she was a man, would there have been anything wrong with what he said?
Yes.
So if he said to another man, he called another man the C word, right? So would there have been anything wrong with this?
I worked in bars for years, right? I was a bartender, and you have to monitor these situations. But just like, and you were just saying before I called through, if this happens in a bar, that can turn into a brawl really quick.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever the mores are in our country, we don't. How often do you really hear that word? Not very. But like in New Zealand, they use it all the time. That's like saying asshole here, right? We're like, you asshole. They'll call each other that all day long. But we just don't do that here. So,
So you're saying, but like, I don't. So because in this culture,
talking
it's
as a mother. If that were my daughter,
yeah.
I'd be hot. I'd be really hot, and there would be no stopping her father from finding him.
Really? So you're saying if you're there with your husband and your daughter was there, and that doesn't matter what your daughter had done.
Well, no, I'm not saying it doesn't matter what she had done. You know, she instigated him, but it, you know, could be that she was just having a good time with her team score, you know?
Right. Okay.
And I'm saying guys like that's douchey.
Oh, it's 100% douchey. I'm not saying the guy's like I said, I'm not saying the guy's a good guy or a role model. I'm simply saying it's a nothing burger. I'm saying this is nothing.
I've seen too many things go down. That's what I'm saying. You know, that's just, those are fighting words. That's just how it is.
So that's the question, though. So that's really the question. So why would this become a fighting word? And you're saying that would even be a fighting word if someone said it to your brother. Let's say someone called your brother that'd be a fighting word.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Well, anyone that.
Call any human that then becomes a fighting word.
Well, in this culture, yes. And I'm telling you, the reason that my perspective has come from many years behind the bar.
You've seen bar fights. But my question is, isn't that on the person reacting to it more than the person speaking it? Because I'm sure you've seen many times people said it in a totally hostile way, not at all as a friend, where there was no fight.
No, the bouncers will come in at that point. I mean, go to your nearest biker bar and see if anybody says that, right? And we're talking the toughest people, right?
Right.
I mean, you know, in general, in this culture, those are tough people.
Right.
You won't see that.
Right.
You're not going to see that happen, or you're about to, you know, there's going to be a sight to behold. Right? Something's going down if you see that.
So what do you think? What do you think about this guy posting it and saying, "Let's find this dude"?
Yeah, I think he's trying to save face for the future father-in-law. Personally, that's my first guess. Father-in-law saw this or knows about it, and what's he gonna do? Right? He wussed. He totally wussed out.
Well,
I mean, nothing good to say about that guy either.
He explained that the reason he didn't get physical is because that guy was there with two other guys, and one of them was his brother, and they were in Philly, and he's like, there was nothing good was going to come out of making this a physical thing because we basically were getting killed if I turned physical, which I think is probably true. I'm glad he didn't turn it into something physical. I think that would have been stupid. But also, this is the other thing that people don't realize. You know, you turn something physical. You don't know if someone's got a knife on them. You don't know what the hell's going to come out of it. Like I wouldn't. Whatchamacallit? Like I think you gotta really assess the situation before you're like, you know, I'm going to take a completely unknown entity and decide I'm going to tackling this. Like you really need to make a real quick life assessment as to like, is this something that's potentially worth dying for? And it's like,
well, that's our generation. You can't get into any venues these days with anything.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You know,
I guess it's hard to get that.
We're around the same age,
that's
so
true.
We went to the concerts where you would have to worry about that stuff.
You'd be like, I don't know what this guy's got. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
He's gonna bust a bottle on my head, right?
But
now they give you plastic cups.
So to me, this guy posting it and saying, help me find this is just the whole victim mentality of like, oh, my fiance is a victim.
I think he's probably trying to save face. I'm telling you. I think he's trying to save his.
I don't buy that for a second. I don't buy that. I think you're giving him way too much credit. But
well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know the guy from Adam. I never even saw the post. I'm just responding to your coverage. So
right. No, I appreciate
no
that.
idea.
I
I
appreciate
do not
that you
think
had
that
the
it
cojones to
started
call
there.
in. You know, like a lot of you're the first ones call in disagreeing with me, and
I know. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I agree." I agree on a lot of your points. Don't get me wrong.
And there's nothing wrong. By the way, I don't have a problem with anyone ever, intellectually disagreeing with me about something. I think that's a good thing. People should be thinking through what I say and questioning it. And sometimes they're going to come to conclusions that are going to differ from mine, and that's okay. That's part of. I try to tackle issues that are not so cut and dry, because I know my audience is going to tend to fall a certain way. That's just the nature of what happens in social media. You're more likely to be fed in my direction if you're conservative leaning than if you're watching the Midas.
Right.
But
we're not Borg.
Yeah, and exactly. You're not Borg. Yes, well said.
Like I said, I have a different perspective. I've seen things go really bad. Just somebody, not even, there weren't even spoken words, just a look sometimes, especially when there's alcohol,
Yeah.
But yeah, if that was my daughter, I'd be hunting. I'm just telling you the truth. You're not going to get away with that. I'm not going to try to get him fired from it and canceled in life or anything, but yeah, I'm going to tell him what I think of him.
All right. Thank you so much, Leanne. I appreciate it.
Okay. Have a good one.
Have a good night. Now we're getting some people who are actually, weighing. I'll take one more call before I get on out of here. Before I wrap this sucker up. This is Janella Rella. This is funny. I'm watching now the comments starting to grow here. Get help. It's funny. There we go.
Call from.
Make this a blood fight.
Charles.
Charles! Is this Charles & Co? Or is this different Charles? Charles? Charles?
Yes, you can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
is this
St. Charles from the last time?
It's Charles & Co, right?
Charles from Puerto Rico.
From Puerto Rico. All right. So is the C word the name that shall not be used? He who shall not be named, or she who shall not be named?
I don't care. I don't care about the words. In fact, in Puerto Rico, we don't. The N word is not a thing. It's not a bad thing in Puerto Rico. But the point I want to make is for example, if I am with my family in a venue for entertainment, or if I'm at the movies, I am not there to be bothered, So if something like this happens, I think it's unacceptable. I will leave and ask for a refund.
Okay.
Get my money back.
So I'm struggling. Can you just say that one more time? Because I don't think I caught everything you were saying. I got a little distracted there. So if you could just give me that one more time.
Yeah, I think in a situation like this, I don't want to be bothered by other people. I just want to be entertained, right?
Right. Okay.
Like if you are in the movies and you are watching a movie and someone said this to you, I will walk out and ask for a refund.
Okay.
So
I don't.
That's my position.
Let me ask you this: you're a fan of soccer,
or
what you call football?
No, I'm not a sports guy.
Because I think you're probably sufficiently aware that watching a sporting event, when you're in a crowd watching a sporting event, that's not really the same thing as a movie, right? I mean, a movie, you're not.
Yeah,
really,
but for example, if I am walking in the sidewalk, right, and someone does this to me, I just keep walking, right? But if I in a place where I cannot leave the person beside me, then it's going to be very uncomfortable, right?
I can understand. I agree that it could definitely be uncomfortable. What I'm saying is that a sporting arena is not at all the same as a movie theater. Because the movie theater, you're going there, and it's much more of an individualistic experience than the group type of experience that a sporting event is. Right? I mean, when you go to a movie theater, even if you go with 10 friends to a movie theater, you're really only watching it with the 3 of them who are sitting closest to you. And maybe after the fact, you'll talk to your other friends about it. But you're not really at the movie with most of the audience there. You're basically with the people you're sitting next to, and that's it. So it's not even really 3. It's really just 2 people maximum. But at a sporting event, everyone is moving around in the middle. Everyone's interacting with other folks. People are cheering when there's a good play or booing on a bad play. There's a much more audience interaction with each other than you had in virtually any other setting, right?
Yeah, I think I would tolerate like the first time, but if the person keeps bothering me, then I will leave.
Okay, I get that. And if this is a continuous thing, I'll agree with you on this. I'll give you this. Like if he's doing that like over and over again, yeah, then that's at a certain point that does become harassing. You know what I'm saying? Like if this guy is just like continually just dropping that just makes the entire situation just a continuously unpleasant environment unnecessarily. As opposed to if he just drops that in one exchange back and forth, to me, that changes it dramatically. Because you don't want to spend 2 hours, 3 hours, 3.5 hours watching this game, and like you spend that entire time in fear or in in anguish that someone's going to be verbally assaulting you. But if it's just one quick exchange, like to me, I'm just like, oh my gosh, get your panties untwisted, like just grow up.
Yeah.
Would you agree with me that if it's just one exchange like this, that it's like really like a bit much to be making a deal about it a day later?
Yeah, there's another topic I want to talk about if you got a little time.
But keep it fast. What do you got?
Yeah, I want to make the case of why the president should be able to pardon himself.
Okay.
So my theory is the office of the presidency is not the same entity as the citizen president, right? For example, Trump is not the same as the presidency, right? So when the presidency pardons someone, it could say like the presidency is pardoning the citizen Trump, not the presidency, right? So there's different entities.
It's a very smart.
For example,
it's a very smart.
For example,
I see where you're going. I see exactly where you're going. This is a very, very intelligent argument he's making, and I want to catch everyone up to date on what it is that we're talking about here. And I think I've swallowed up your argument, and I happen to like the logic in what you're saying a lot. Yesterday, I mentioned what was your first name, brother?
Carlos.
What Carlos is referencing is
starts in English, but yeah.
What Carlos is referencing, in case you missed yesterday's show, is I was talking about the issue as to whether or not the president has the power to pardon himself. And I mentioned to my audience yesterday that I was always of the opinion that a president should have the power to pardon himself because the Constitution seems to be pretty clear that the president shall have the power to pardon whomever he sees fit. So that seems to be anyone, and you would think that includes himself as well. Now, I mentioned to my audience yesterday that when I spoke to Ron Coleman about this question, and I asked him specifically do you think Joe Biden will pardon himself? And he said, can he? And I said, well, why can't he? And he said, well, the term pardon as a definition seems to refer to a third party, never to oneself. You don't have a power to pardon yourself because it's not actually pardoning. That's not what pardoning is. Pardoning is there's third party over there, and I am pardoning. I am forgiving that third party. No one ever has a power to pardon themselves. In fact, when you say pardon me, you're not making an order on pardoning me. You're making a request. Please pardon me. So if you just think of the definition of the term pardon, that when someone is pardoning someone, it's invariably talking about someone else. Where Carlos seems to be going here, and I think it's a very shrewd argument you're making, is he seems to be saying, well, we can distinguish the office of the presidency from the president as an individual. And we can basically look at him as saying he, as this presidential figure, as the office, is pardoning himself, the individual. And perhaps that would work. And I think that's a great counter argument to run. And I plan on throwing at him. It's that good an argument.
And I think we have a
did I capture your whole argument there that you were making?
Yes, and I think we can make the case based on the precedent that when Biden got a colonoscopy, Kamala had the powers of the presidency,
right,
but she was not the president.
Yeah.
So that means they are different entities.
That's a great point. It's a great point. It would have been really funny, by the way, if when she had that office for like a couple hours, if she just started signing off pardon. I always wonder why no one who sits in for the president doesn't do precisely that. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be such great theater? Oh my God, that'd be so awesome. Pardon.
And I think the immunity decision reinforces this because it stipulates different parameters of the immunity, because it's one entity for the official duties and another entity for the personal duties and the outer perimeter. So that means there are different entities within the executive, because if the president is one entity, the powers is one entity, and the title is another entity.
Yep. All right, Carlos. Let me get back to my show. Yeah, I appreciate your perspective on this. You're a smart guy. Thank you, brother.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good night. See, these are people thinking. I like it. I like it a lot. I just noticed this now when I was scrolling through some of the comments on my thing here, where I basically had this exchange. I didn't even realize this guy wrote this to me earlier. He said, "Bro, you call my wife that any place, any time, you will not recover." So I said, "I have much more respect for you decking the guy than for someone filming the incident and whining about it on the internet." And he said, "Oh, he's already been made famous. He's been identified, and his employer has released a statement, probably be banned from the NFL as well, if not by the Eagles." This is sometimes when people use the term gay, they mean it in a really good way. And then there's this time.
Call from
Wrong, Joe.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello?
I'm trying to reach Joe.
Who's calling?
Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth. You've reached Joe.
Well, Joe, you're wrong.
Okay. Here we go. It finally took. Oh, my God. Thankfully. I've been begging people who think I'm wrong to call. And Mike, praise the Lord. Here we go. Go for it.
Joe.
I'm wrong. Tell me how wrong I am.
You're wearing me out, Joe. You have exhausted me, Joe. Okay? You've exhausted me tonight. I've had to listen to New Jersey politics, but that's okay because I understand because you're in New Jersey. So cool. But then I had to listen for all of this time about how you've been victimized by all these people who are victimized. Okay? Have I made my
I think they're funny. And I couldn't believe the reaction. Especially because that reaction is very much the opposite reaction to what I'm getting from my own chat here. And
you had to share it, just like Dude had to share. Oh, look, I've been victimized, my girlfriend. You had to oh, look, the Chris and I had this exchange, and everybody was.
Oh, God.
Such a freaking victim, Joe.
I'm not a victim. I actually felt like, they have those whatchamacallit, what are they called? Those little video things where they'll have one person sitting there and 25 people sitting around them, and then they each like pop into the chair, and he's basically like swatting each of them away. So it wasn't like a victim. It was more a matter of me showing off than victimhood. But yeah.
You now
many times are you jumping around on the internet and you think, oh man, I could say something, but in this particular group, everybody's going to pile on and it's going to wear me out. I just don't even want to do it. But you did it. You did it.
I didn't even, I'm telling you, look, I would tell you if I was trolling. I don't have any problem. I would have no problem saying like, and I saw this, I was like, oh, this looks like fun. I was not doing that. I really wasn't. I was just like, I disagree with this guy's post, and I'm gonna express myself. And all of a sudden, and I did not expect that anyone would see it. There's a lot of times I'll throw stuff out there that no one sees, and that's cool. So I was like, I'm just gonna express myself on it. And then I came back to Twitter like an hour and a half later, and I see that there's like 35 comments on my stupid 3-line post. And I was like, what the hell is that? And like, I got 3 likes and 35 comments. And I'm just like, what the hell is this? And then I start going through them. And I was like, all right, let's start responding to some of these people. And I start going through them one by one. But it wasn't like I was definitely not intentionally trolling. I would have no problem telling you when I'm trolling. I go into Blue Sky to troll. But
Joe, I'm just tired.
I'm sorry. Sorry for wearing you out. I'm sorry. All right. But you agree. So basically you agree with my point. You just think that I'm being the same loser about it by actually talking about this. Sorry for ruining your night like this, Elizabeth.
You were wanting somebody to give you a hard time, so I showed up.
No, you did good. You did good. I like it. Good job. Good job, Elizabeth. All right.
Listen, can I ask one question?
Yeah, you're going to ask 2.
Oh, no, one is fine. Did you see the clip of Newsom where he was like giddy with excitement talking about he'd been on the phone with Josh Green talking about land use?
No.
Already?
No.
Oh, yeah. Look it up. It's unreal. He's like grinning and wild-eyed, and I've been on the phone with Josh Green talking about land use. It's real. Anyhow, that's all I wanted to ask.
With who? With which Green?
Governor of Hawaii. Land use. Maui.
Now I'm curious.
It's on Twitter.
Oh.
I think I saw it on Concerned Citizen on Twitter. I could be wrong, but it is on Twitter. I've been watching that tweet. Might be on Concerned Citizen.
Yeah. I found this thing here.
Euphoria. It's either on Euphoria.
He made a statement on Fox on January 10th, which garnered backlash. He said, I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor down in Hawaii, who had some ideas about some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying a property. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we're presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks. Oh.
Gosh, together.
Oh my God. Wow.
Waiting for things to move to where we could get to Josh Green.
Wow. Maybe tomorrow. Wow. All right. I got to look more into this.
All right. Buddy.
I got to look more into this. Thank you, Elizabeth. And tomorrow, no New Jersey politics for you. Okay. Okay.
Hey, I survived.
Have a good night. Take care.
Hey.
All right. I think it's time for me to land my plane here. I've been good and thrashed. Good and thrashed. Come on in here. That was like a collateral attack, not like a head on, like you're wrong about this point. This is just like a you suck attack, which is way more hurtful. Yeah, so the plane is landing. It's like we're like at a 45 degree. Everyone's seatbelts should be locked, trays in your upright position as we're like coming in pretty abruptly here. We got a very short landing strip. There's a very, very short landing strip. So everyone should, It's kind of almost like a crash landing. It's practically a crash landing. Anyway, I'm just doing a quick look around, making sure I didn't miss anything here while I was being just ruthlessly attacked there. Who do you want to see as the boys' new head coach? Belichick? Love to see that. Love to see Belichick. Is there any other answer but Belichick to that? That's what I'd love to see. We need Bill. I got very burnt on Bill because at the time I'm rooting for the Jets, and then how he just like said, "Yeah, I'm coming," and then backed out and went to the Patriots. That was very hurtful. Anyway, whoa, my gosh, what's that? Is it lab meat? This is lab meat? Well, that's not for me. It's not for you. It's for they, them. And as far as that whole bugs, don't eat them. Don't eat them. It's not for you. Don't eat the bugs. Have a good night, my friends. Godspeed.